Hello, welcome to Needing a Meeting Live. My name is Carol. I'll be your host today. And as you can see, I've moved my studio to Mom's bedroom. Hello, Anique. Hello, Plant Freak. Hello, Henny. And yes, I can take up reading the part about sleeping. Unfortunately, it's a very short section, but maybe I can find more about it. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Ooh. For smart participants or family and friends, how to give it up and be glad you did, a sensible approach. Okay. Unfortunately, there is not a glossary. I'm looking for anything more about sleep. But it does say sleep patterns can change, and this time of year is rough for sleep patterns, I'm finding. Trying to connect with you outside of the chat. What's the best way to do that? Sleep patterns can change when a person stops drinking or using drugs. This is normal. Your body needs time to adjust. If you have difficulty sleeping, cutting down on caffeine will help. Taking a short walk in the evening or reading a book in bed may also help. It may take weeks to recover from sleep deficit to start sleeping normally. Vivid, sometimes disturbing dreams are common early in recovery. Sleep patterns usually improve. I had something I wanted to ask you, Henny. Do you ever go to sleep with the TV on? Because I do all the time. So what I do is I set my TV on a timer, and so that it'll go off in the night. But I hello, Anique. I drift off to sleep to like a documentary with somebody's kind of soothing voice, just kind of gently lulling me to sleep. I kind of look at it as like a bedtime story. Sometimes I'll do like rain sounds. YouTube has like 10 hours of rain sounds all the time, like several different channels. So if you like just a little bit of rain, you can do that. You can have a full-on thunderstorm. And almost always, if I do that, the timer will go off and I won't need to restart the TV. Anyway, I don't know if any of that will help, but I've gotten to where the older that I've gotten, the more I end up kind of falling asleep in front of the TV. And so when that started happening, I just started using that to my advantage. Probably not what a lot of neuroscience people and sleep experts would recommend, but I'm all for whatever works, whatever to sleep. See, that's the same as me, Henny. Otherwise, I got squirrels running around everywhere, like not one little squirrel. They're all running around in there, all 50 of them. So
Yep.
I just turn on the TV and let the squirrels watch TV so I can get some sleep. How are you? How are you?
I'm good. Just give me a second here. Sorry, I'm just making sure my audio is set up properly.
Okay, I can hear you real good.
Perfect. I know that I had the headset on last time and I keep putting my hand in front of the camera. Sorry. I ended up switching it to the Bluetooth. And then the last time that I did that, I had to remember to switch it back because the audio on my side, it's hard to hear you unless I switch it back to speakerphone. It's silly.
Yeah. Those as cute as the little headphones are, it does make it a little muffled. So
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm Rowan isn't here right now. He left this morning.
That's right.
So I'm going to try not to use them in general, just because they're a little bit distracting for me too, visually. I look and then sometimes they change color and I'm like, oh, I lost my thought. So exactly what we were just talking about. Just different levels of pixie dust, and it depends on like the level of pixie dust and how quick it runs.
I had a couple of thoughts driving into town today. Somebody had nicked my oak tree that's just starting to grow in the house we moved out of that my brother-in-law is supposed to be moving into.
Yes.
And so I thought, okay, well, it's going to have a little scar now. And and you know how as trees get bigger, the scar gets bigger. I
Yes.
wonder if that's what happens to us. Like we grow, but do the scars get bigger? Because sometimes it feels like it does.
Emotionally, I would say heck yes. And I know that physically as well. Like I have some scars from childhood that have just grown with me.
Yeah.
Because the skin, like it's not like the skin regenerated, it just kept stretching out, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say the answer is yes.
So some food for thought as the
Mhm.
road winds around. And
Yes.
another thing I was kind of dealing with on the drive back was kind of an imposter syndrome.
Okay.
And I don't know where it's coming from, but it's like I almost feel like I cheated some kind of way by joining a cult instead of going into recovery. And now I'm
Mm.
so far removed from my alcohol and drug use. I'm more years sober than I was ever in my drug.
Yeah.
You know, but it didn't get bad for me until after Luke was born.
Oh, really?
But before he was born, I was starting to drink alone in my apartment. I was starting to go to the liquor store and drink a fifth or a pint. Is it a pint? Oh.
I don't know what happened, but I heard that all.
Um, is a fifth the smallest one, or is a pint the smallest one?
No, a fifth.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I'd get a little fifth and drink it alone in my apartment,
Yeah.
and so I was on my way.
Okay.
But all those hormonal changes making me crazy in my head, you know, there's a rare thing that happens, and I wouldn't let anybody diagnose me, uh,
Okay.
because I still had One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest in the back of my mind, and also like all the people that I'd watched come and go from the local hospital where you'd get admitted if you had a mental
Mm.
situation. I'd watch how they'd come back and just kind of shuffling and pale and like a shadow of the former self that I had known before. And, knowing that that could be a possibility for me, it's like, well, I'll tell you what, I'll keep what I got because it's the enemy I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Well, I completely understand that. I kept smoking weed for how long? Even though, and kept using and drinking for how long? Because it's an evil I know. It's not the medications that I was previously on that made me a shell of a person.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And, some people get baby blues, some people get postpartum depression. And then there are those lucky few who get the postpartum psychosis, where their baby is either the Antichrist or the Christ,
Yeah. Yeah.
and mine just happened to be the Christ, and it was a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was seeing healthcare professionals because it was follow up to giving birth and all that.
Yes.
And I would see it in their eyes, like they'd be scared looking, and I'm like, if you're thinking about figuring out a way to get me committed, I'm letting you know I will not go.
Mm-hmm.
And if somebody tries to force me, somebody's going to get hurt. It may be me, it may be the person trying to drag me into one of them places, but I'm not going. I
Yes.
even had a couple of them ask, well, why don't you want to go to the hospital? And I had a very clear answer. I don't want to be looking up at fluorescent lights. And I don't want some psychiatrist playing God with my brain.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in those days, medication for all that stuff was not great. There weren't a lot of great options.
No. And the mental health awareness
Hi.
was not great. Hi, Seventh.
No, it wasn't. You know, we were barely out of the 50s and 60s in the 80s and the 90s.
Yeah.
And how we dealt with all that.
Yeah.
So I just kind of had to do the best I could to get to some kind of normal. And, you know, I just started drinking heavier because it felt like it helped.
Yeah.
It didn't, but it felt like it did.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
it was something I could control. It was something I could manage, I thought, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yet, you know, I, due to the psychosis, due to the, you know, everything, I was couch surfing, you know. I lost everything going from couch to couch to couch to couch. I lost family pictures. I lost, you know, family heirlooms. I lost a lot of things. And I lost a lot of I lost the remaining family heirlooms in a cult, you know, because when I'd run out of money, I'd donate something precious to me because I felt like it would be precious in the eyes of God. Well, I happened to find out what they were saying in the back room when I would donate my Luna bar or that which would be the last thing that I had.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, that'll
Goodness, I'm
that'll
sorry.
scar you when you know you
Yeah.
missed a meal and they were just like,
They really didn't care.
right.
They really didn't care.
And there's more than one person back there counting the money.
Yeah.
Did they ever think to buy somebody a bag of groceries? Hell no. One girl that was doing the movie work, they were trying to get this film studio started and have a media company.
Okay.
And they hornswoggled this couple that had knowledge and talent in that area. And they basically lived at the church.
Okay.
Doing all that stuff that
Yeah.
never came to anything, just like everything else in that cult. Nothing ever came to anything, but people would be expected to give everything to make
Yep.
that happen, and it never would happen.
No.
And you know, and I heard her the wife
Okay.
saying, God, can I please just have some shampoo?
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
I had a little bit of money coming in at that time. Guess what she had within the next few days?
Shampoo, of course. Of course.
And anything else that went with it.
Yeah. Yeah. She needed it. You heard it.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah.
And you'd think that they would even try to help, but no.
Nope.
No.
Just like Scientology. Looky here, looky here.
Hi.
I wanted to put the Roku on and put one of those cool screensavers on there, but I couldn't find the remote.
You lost it? You lost it, Carol. Did you put it back here? Is it in there?
Break everything and yeah.
And still not find it. I found it though.
Nope, there you go.
Oh, okay.
Who's the champion?
Stay sure.
I'm the champion.
It was a safe place. It's just not a safe place you remembered. The squirrel ran away with that safe place.
Corpse on your way to town this morning?
No.
Okay. Somebody lost a power plug that looked a lot like yours, but the charger cord was different. And I wondered if you had taken a charger cord for your little speaker thing, but wasn't you. So I gave it to Lost and Found.
Okay.
Perfect.
So anyway, what was that? Oh yeah, I was talking about the cult.
Yeah.
And how they did people.
Yeah.
Just to stay instead of recognizing that somebody had, you know, was doing the best that they could just disdain.
Mm-hmm.
Disdain because they had the nerve to need something.
Yeah. 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 They had the nerve, literally, the nerve to need something.
Which is beyond messed up.
Yeah. And it's so typical of now that I'm realizing, looking into multiple different cults, it's so typical.
Mm-hmm.
It is so typical.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't imagine what individuals who have been in a cult, have left a cult, who are still in a cult, deal with.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what it is that you went through.
No, you don't think about it. Your mind is kept busy being absorbed with the cause.
Yeah.
You don't get to think about it.
No.
You do get to live it though.
Of course.
You know.
Of course. Because they, as you said, they don't want to help, but they need from you. They always need from you.
Yeah.
It's interesting how that goes.
Are you sure you want to do that, Anik? I tell you what, let me put it. I'm going to take a screenshot.
Yeah, and then maybe put that aside somewhere and remove those 3 chats.
I've got a screenshot of it, and if you would like for me to remove it, I will be happy to do that.
Yeah, please remove it, she says.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not a problem. No. I thought I could remove a thing.
I thought you could too. Do we need a wrench?
Yeah, we need a wrench.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Anik.
We'll get it off there though.
Well,
eventually.
the chat will move along and it'll
exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not like it goes on to leave it. Okay, never mind.
Okay.
Not like it goes on to the comments after. That would be my more.
Actually, the chat does run alongside the replay.
Okay.
So if a wrench could remove it, that would
After maybe. Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, as
okay.
in remove it. Okay. You know what? We could, in addition to using my email to get in touch with everybody, we could use Misha's voicemail.
Misha's voicemail, and then Mandrew had set up a Discord as well for the channel for you.
What is Discord?
Discord's a chat platform, and you can use voice or text. It's more common with gamers, from what I understand, and he's a gamer. But to be honest, it's easier for me to use than like Facebook Messenger. It's really user friendly. What I'll do after is I'll send you all of the links for downloading. Just let me know if you have an Apple or an Android.
Okay.
I'll send you the links for downloading, and you can put it on your computer and on your phone.
Well, okay. So hello, Misha.
Yes.
Hello, everybody that I missed. If you still have a wrench, Misha, Anik, will you let Misha know if you want us to remove that? You know, at least maybe even just part of it or something. Like I said, I've got it saved to a screenshot. Oh, okay. You can delete it. Very good.
There you go.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. You can delete your own comments. I keep forgetting.
Okay. I did not know that.
I always accidentally hit the report button, and it's like, are you sure you want to report? No, I tried to delete. No.
Armageddon's happening over here.
Oh goodness.
I put him on a mission, and now he's mission command.
Perfect. Didn't miss too much, Misha. We've just been talking about Carol was having a bit of a bout of imposter syndrome today on her way back from town. So we're talking a bit about that. See, squirrel ran away. There was something else. Oh, the oak tree. The oak tree at her old property had a little nick in it. And we were saying, do scars grow with us? And I'm like, emotionally, I think yes. Physically, I think yes. But I'm not a doctor.
Yeah.
So I definitely am starting to understand more that I might have a lot of those imposter syndrome thoughts.
Yeah.
I didn't really know what it was before coming here with you guys.
Yeah.
And then we started talking about it a little bit more, and it's like, no, I definitely have those thoughts. I just do my best to shake them because I can't keep going with them.
I have one from a baby that has stayed with me and is deep. Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was my mom when she was carrying my brother, or if she was relaying to me somebody else's story, but she burned her belly on the stove when she was pregnant, and the baby came out with a scar that matched.
Oh my goodness. Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Isn't
That's
that wild?
insane. That's insane.
Oh, mischief. It is
It's
insane.
really, and Mitch is saying it's really frequent with ADHDers, which, wow. Makes sense, but I'd like to not be neurodivergent sometimes. I know I'm trying to think of it as a superpower, and I'm trying to think of it in good ways, but I'm telling you, it's getting harder and harder sometimes.
For real. And it seems like it gets harder the older I get.
Right? It's like the next thing piles on. It's like, but I wasn't done with that last one. Do you need to be here? Yeah.
I freed this up.
It's okay, Misha. Don't worry.
Yeah.
You can still plug this in.
I have not been keeping up with the chat all that well.
It's okay.
Have I missed anything that I needed to talk about or highlight?
No, the one comment that I was going to say maybe put up there was Misha's, but you've already got that up there right now. Everybody else is just kind of saying hi, and then I filled Misha in on what she already missed, so we're good.
So yeah, I don't know what to do about it. You know, I feel like there have been a lot of gaps in my education.
I think all of us, yeah.
A lot of gaps in my learning.
Yeah.
No knocking with wrenches needed.
Cute. Yeah, I think we all have those gaps in our education because it's almost like trauma hits.
Yeah.
And then we just can't function. Like even the comment of kids are resilient. I understand it. I was that kid who was resilient, but I'll be honest, it wasn't easy.
No.
It was difficult.
Yeah.
And my education suffered greatly because of it until I went into foster care. Until I was able to get myself out of that situation and went into foster care.
Yeah.
I struggled in school.
Yeah.
Like there's certain things I actually should have learned in elementary school, and it took going to college figuring that stuff out.
You know, after I graduated from high school, I started taking everything apart and putting it back together in a way that made sense to me, to learn math, to learn English, to learn some of the basics. Because I had learning disabilities that weren't diagnosed until my 30s.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so they wanted to hold me back in first grade, and mom wouldn't let them. I wish they would have.
Right.
I don't know that it would have made much difference, but at least a repeat of what I was trying to pick up in the first grade might have helped.
Maybe. I always worry about that. My reason being is you're older than the rest of the kids at that point, and then all the way through. Bullying's bad enough nowadays. I'm terrified. You know, like I had a friend whose child had to stay behind.
You know, bullies were nothing new, you know, and that was mom. She was afraid that I would be bullied. Well, I was already being bullied pretty severely. So,
oh no.
You know, what is a turkey leg? Anique wants to know. A turkey leg is our proverbial bashing stick. That's right. Get after somebody with a turkey leg.
Yeah, yeah. And eventually one day we'll have a great big foam one for merch, and we'll just smack it across people.
I think it's still in the closet.
So yeah.
Look, I got
you. You know what? Yes. I bully myself, Misha says. And you know, why? Why do we oblige those comments that we heard that were untrue, unfounded, unmerited,
Mhm.
undeserved?
Mhm.
Nobody deserved to be told that they were a loser
No.
or be made to feel that way.
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly. And
yeah.
but then it's I think it was Christine who was explaining it, or Christy, sorry. She was saying that positive energy is very light and airy, but
Yeah.
these negative things, they are so
Heavy.
heavy and dense. And to break those apart, and
Yeah.
we don't know that we need to break them apart as a child
Yeah.
because these people are our elders. We should be trusting them, or whatever our mindset or whatever it is that we were taught.
Right.
So it just sticks with us, sadly. And then we have to try and break it apart once we hit trauma as an adult.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
how are we supposed to work on
And
any of it?
adulting isn't hard enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why do
Yep.
people think it is okay to bully us when we do more of it than ever than ever possibly known? That is a very good question, Misha.
I can speak from my experience. It's a control thing. At least in my experience and what I left, it was, well, you're saying this to yourself. Well, then let me say it to you too. You're
Yeah.
going to hear it from me.
Yeah.
But I was also an only child, and he had 5 brothers and sisters and literally grew up his whole entire life in a cult. So at that point, it was like, okay, now you can literally be harder on me than I am being on me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started believing those things.
Yeah.
And those are the things that stuck. So I think it's a control thing. I don't just think it's from partners. I think it's even from society. It's to put us in our place and keep our mouths shut sometimes.
Yeah. Henny, the way I see trauma bonding is, those Survivor shows or Big Brother shows where they're kind of put in these terrible situations to see who's going to get kicked off the thing. Those little clusters of people that get formed, those little cliques, to me, that's more trauma bonding.
Okay.
I don't know what that has to do with bullying. I'm just kind of putting that out there. Like rehab, early in rehab, we all trauma bonded around getting sober, big time.
Mm-hmm.
Very,
Mm-hmm.
very, very unhealthy relationships, but they were necessary. There wasn't going to be a way for them to not be trauma bonding because
Yeah.
getting sober.
Yeah. Yeah. And in a peer group like that, and especially when you're one-on-one, you're feeling each other's energy even heavier, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Ants also. Yeah.
Yeah.
How can people treat us like crap for creating mental disabilities, then gripe because we can't function with them? Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't say any better than that. Ants also.
Mm-hmm.
What is that an acronym for?
Automatic negative thoughts.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
I was listening to Tommy this morning, and he says it so much. I'm like, that's right. And then I just hear Tommy's head giving the description of the acronym.
Grr, angry right now. Probably shouldn't be here, honestly. Well, where should you be, Misha?
Or should you be here? Yeah.
Where should you be?
Yeah.
You need a meeting, maybe. I don't know. Do you? Do you need a meeting? I'm not scared if you're angry. I'm not scared of your anger. Not in the least. I think you have definitely earned the right to be angry. You have every right to be angry.
Yes.
Every right. Who couldn't be angry?
I don't know how I would be as helpful and as open and honest as you are, Misha, in your situation. I know how I would be, and to be to the point where you are, that would have taken me an immense amount of work.
Henny, you're right. We believe it because we want acceptance, even if it's negative.
Oh, yeah.
There is something to that. There really is. It's like we will, go along to get along, and go along with the narrative because we want acceptance that badly,
Yeah. Yeah. I
until
can see that.
we reach the well, F that and F y'all.
Yeah. Yeah. Then that point comes and then everything goes and hits the fan.
I feel exactly the same way right now. And I don't know your situation, Anique, but I'm sure, yeah, anger is valid.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean,
It's valid and necessary, I find. Especially in my process, I'm finding the anger is actually necessary for me to work through.
Tommy's head, best merch ever. My Gemini speak at the moment. I have finally finished wrapping gifts and I want a reward. So I'm here. Well,
Yay!
yay, Mischief. And I've been meaning to post the link. There it is. Let's see. I was told today that they didn't give a shit about my daughter. It was from a place of hurt, but no place is that okay.
No place is that okay.
What the hell? What the hell? What the actual hell?
Yeah. I can see exactly why you're mad.
What the hell?
Dear word.
Who gets a right to say that? Nobody.
No.
Nobody.
Oh, Missa.
I gotta go, but I will be listening while multitasking. I don't care about acceptance by people who misunderstand me. I'm just pissed at people being too lazy to bother to get an understanding.
I'm actually happy to hear you saying that, Anique, some of the conversations that we've had before.
Yeah. Yeah. For real.
Yep.
I mean, it is lazy. It's just lazy. And how wonderful that your life is such that you have the luxury of being lazy in that way.
So I'm not sorry, I just want to make sure that awakened here. It says it's not my fault because I'm not taking care of them and doing what I am supposed to do. But I can no longer function. I have a problem with the beginning part of that of it's my fault, first of all.
No, it's not.
Not your fault.
No.
And what do you need to be doing to take care of somebody else?
Yeah.
Or are they an adult?
With a job, by the way.
So maybe you can't function for a reason.
It's their job to give a shit about your daughter. That's their job. Yeah. Maybe they need to be reminded what their job is. And maybe you're the person to go ahead and remind them that they have a job to do.
Yep. Yep. It is
I'm just
an extremely difficult situation.
Maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I feel. Honestly, I have let them down. We are a team. I'm not fulfilling my part. Okay. Well, maybe we can help you with that somehow, Misha. Let's get together after the meeting and see if we can figure something out.
Yeah.
But don't beat yourself up because of something that you're having trouble doing.
It's not going to make it any easier for you. Yeah. If anything, we know it's going to make it harder. I know for me anyways, I'm going to beat myself up and I'm not going to be able to function past that.
Yeah. And Anique says, "Oh, Misha, I am so sorry. It probably the effects of the substance they're using. I don't know. I don't know what a human being can merit to be.
I think that's where Misha's not substance cancer comes in. And then that's two people having a very hard time.
Yeah.
Right? It's a struggle on one end from losing somebody and a struggle on the other end as well. with possibly losing themselves.
I can't think. I can't find emails. I can't do anything. These holiday deadlines, I have 45 minutes left and I won't make it.
What's left to do? The email? I know that she can't find emails, but what's left to do in the next 45 minutes?
Yeah.
Is there something that we can help talk you through maybe so that you can try to get some of it done?
I'm here just exhausted. Hello, everyone. My heart is fine. Good.
Good.
I'll have a funny and almost unbelievable story when I have the energy to tell it. Love you, and I'm listening and sending love and support. Love you too, Cosmic.
Yeah. Love you too, sweetheart. Sorry, I'm reading the chat at the same time. See, squirrels?
It is not your fault. Anika's right. It is not your fault. It's not your fault.
No.
She says, yeah, it's not substance abuse at the moment. It's pain and struggle of having cancer. Okay.
Yeah. And that's when there's pain on both sides.
Yeah.
I can understand. I can recognize how difficult that has got to be.
And that's insane that the deadline is your daughter's DOD.
That is
too much. That is too much. You should not have to be taking anything on today.
Yeah. Yeah. Dear word.
Mischief wants to know, is there anything I can do to help? Please let me know. I love and need everyone in this group. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Did you see?
Yeah. Absolute unbearable stress. My God, yes.
Are you eating that?
Not right now, but yes, thank you. Supposed to have a year to the day, but only found the resource a month ago. Well, there you go.
It's only a month ago. Yeah. Well, the resource was found only a month ago. Make sure I word that properly. Yeah. My word.
They only said it was murder legitimately in September. Yeah. Ugh.
But like you keep telling me, Misha, things happen to us so that we can be advocates. And that's exactly what you're doing. And yes, you're having a hard time right now. And I can only imagine the pain that you're feeling.
I can't imagine.
Right? But I know that with support and with help, you'll definitely be able to get there. It's just going to take time.
I am always available to any of you. I love you. You matter to me. Thank you, Anik. I love you too. And ditto. Yeah. Oh my gosh. That just hurts my heart so much. I don't have a scanner anymore. I broke it. I can't make sense of the questions. I feel helpless. There's got to be something that we can do to help you.
Yeah.
With some of this.
There's also a few scanning apps that I've been using on my phone because that's all that I have right now.
Yeah, you can take a picture. Can't you?
And then it puts it proper.
I've done that.
So I can send a couple of those links if need be, Misha. I'm more than happy to take a look over the documents and see if I can make any sense of it. Even if you just put it up on the screen while we're having a video call or something, I'm happy to help with that as well.
Yeah. There's no reason that you have to do any of this alone.
No. And we're here. We are more than willing to help.
POS bummer phone. LOL. Trying to do that.
Download that now.
Okay. No
Good.
worries.
Okay.
No worries. I was responding to your post on Facebook. Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
My goodness, that's
Yeah.
too much on their.
Too much. There's got to be a way we can help you.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like we can put our brains together.
Yeah.
And more brains together, higher functioning, right? It's individually, we probably have a much lower function. Mm-hmm.
That post was 100% truth. I just want to scream and not stop, y'all. Yeah. Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah.
100%. That's just, there's something messed up here. I mean, it's been messed up from the get-go, and it just keeps being messed up.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the system does not really function well. It doesn't really matter what system, but especially when you're looking at the judicial system, doesn't function quite well. And then you end up getting September, the proper filing for her death. And then now you only have until December to take care of it. That's not right. They should have extended that. They should have given you a year from the date in which they made it correct.
Well, I mean, it wasn't like she said, it wasn't even declared a murder until September.
Exactly.
So it wasn't a year there was
I
no.
think that they're running off of the date of her death, though, sadly. I think that that's what the judicial system is doing. They're not taking into consideration their screw up.
There you go. Yeah, and that is so true unless we are good old boys. There it is.
Yes. Yes.
Exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I like to think we are a much higher function, LOLs, but it's hard in this want to make us lower functioning world.
Right?
Yeah.
We do function on a higher level and many other frequencies than what the world wants us to function on.
Hello, Rebecca. Because I can't get this done today. That's what I'm hoping for. Yeah, we've got to talk.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to talk. That's all. Because I've got to, I feel like I can help you with something. There's got to be a way. Just don't know how much more Misha there is left in all this. I will still be able to will I still be able to create sentences much longer? That is what scares me. I know it feels like that. I know it feels like that. You know, every time Mom went in the hospital, that's where my brain would. It would just be mush. And, you know, and then I'd have to recover. And you've had 300 times more trauma than that is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and trying to function with around trauma brain. It's too much. It's too
And
much.
then it's continuing. It's not even like it happened. And then now we can try and start to recover. It's continuing. You are fighting a battle that is bringing up more trauma, bringing back that same trauma. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It is a lot to be going through.
Too much.
Yeah.
Too much.
Goodness. Yeah. Maybe a phone call after just to see what we can do to help or something like that.
Yeah. Awakened by the looking glasses reflection, hugs and support to you. Big time. Big time. Big time.
I wish I was so much closer.
I do too. Well, I think 3 hours away.
From Misha? Okay.
Or 4 at the most.
It's not too bad then.
Every call, every email, every thought, every fight, every failure. Too much. It's too much. Anybody should be able to understand that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not saying that you expressing this makes me feel this way, but knowing your situation, it gives me strength more to fight the battle that we're fighting. Because
What do you do?
yeah. How do you function? Really? How do you function?
Yeah. All right, I put the link in if anybody wants to come in.
I think Cosmic said she might jump in for a little bit.
And and make sure if you're getting tired or anything like that, that you don't push yourself. That's all I ask.
Mm-hmm.
Cancer has been overshadowed by this, sadly. Oh.
This is where I do feel like maybe some more brains to help you might help you put some of that energy somewhere else too, and where you're wanting to put it, because I can see that you want to put energy in him. I can see that you want that. It's just a lot for one person to be taking on top of a partner or individual who is ill.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
I can't either. Golly.
Right? No, we love you too, Misha.
You, Misha, very much.
Mm-hmm.
We got to help our mishmish.
Yes, and we're going to get it done. We're going to get it done.
I was going to say, we could do a Zoom and then you can show stuff.
Okay.
If that helps, or
is that something Discord could help with?
Discord might be able to do it. I can message Andrew after. And, Cosmic might actually have some good understanding on the Discord side as well.
Because I'm sorry,
but I can message Andrew after. I know he's had the day off, and we had a parenting talk together for the first time. That was kind of cool.
Well, I mean, there's, it may not be a good idea to introduce new tech to make it even harder, because there's always a learning curve.
Yeah.
It's always frustrating.
Exactly. Discord might be something to not figure this one out on, but I feel like Zoom is more known, even the Facebook Messenger.
I was going to say, I'm happy to help because we could do Zoom. I have, through work, I'm allowed to use my Zoom.
Okay.
For personal stuff, because it's not
being used on work time. Yeah.
Right. And it's fine. So it's not going to mess with the licensing. It's not going to cost my employer anything. And if it's something that's being done on the computer, like Adobe, I have Bomgar, which we use for my office for remoting to do technical support on computers. So if somebody's comfortable with, and I get if they're not, because people don't necessarily know me.
Yeah.
If you're comfortable with someone remoting to your machine, I could also do that and help out. So I'm open if there's something that I can do to help out.
Exactly. See, Misha, we're going to put our heads together. We're going to get it done.
We're going to figure something out.
How you feeling, love?
Mick, how are you?
Pretty fabulous.
There you are.
Yeah, I'm a bit sick, but it's mostly due to chronic fatigue apparently, and pulled muscles because my body aches and blah blah blah. But yeah, I'm all right. We'll go back to Misha. I'll just listen for now.
Okay.
Rebecca, Misha says, no worries there. My world is an open book.
I was just saying, and seriously, I'm happy to do that, because if you want to do that, we could do a Zoom. I do IT for people of all technical levels. So I'm used to kind of walking through stuff. And I don't feel bad. Everybody starts somewhere. There was a time I did not know how to use a computer because I'm a Gen Xer. And so I'm pre-computers, pre-smartphones, all that stuff. So, but yeah, I'm happy to help if that will, even if it's this evening, and yeah, I don't have anything going.
Perfect. Yeah, we can just send the link around to who's able to help and who wants to come in for it, and then we'll just stick a bunch of brains together. I feel like it'll work.
I know enough to get myself in trouble, apparently.
See, this is the advantage of having IT.
I was thanks.
Carol,
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I was going to say, what is your email address? I can send you mine
Okay.
so you have my contact info.
Okay. Needing a meeting recovery.
Meeting recovery.
At gmail.com.
You could do Zooms, which is all.
She has access to Zoom through her work, and they don't mind her using it.
Cool.
Yeah.
And you're not limited to 45 minutes,
Oh,
Okay.
amazing.
which you'd have to if you're on the free version. It's 45 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So, Carol, I'll email you. I'm going to email you from my work.
Okay.
Well, I want to get our brains together too, Misha. 100%.
We're figuring it out.
Yeah. Misha is self-trained but highly knowledgeable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But that's more than one person can take on right now. So, yeah.
There we go. Make sure I didn't cough in your guys' faces there. Mute my mic. So Cosmic, how are you doing, sweetie?
Yeah, well, it was a bit of an interesting last couple of days. So I just had these chest pains, like radiating down my arm and stuff.
Ooh,
I'm like,
that's
yeah,
scary.
helpful. Yeah, and I've got sinus bradycardia and also hypotension, which is low blood pressure.
Yes.
Okay.
And sinus bradycardia just means hypotension is low blood pressure, and sinus, I don't know. I mean, one of them means arrhythmia, low blood pressure, another one's low heart rate.
Yeah.
So
Steve
both
is
of them mixed
asking
together
you
means. Sorry?
He wants to
You cut
go
out.
ahead.
Do you get lightheaded when you stand up or sit down too fast?
Mostly stand up if I've been sitting down too much. And I don't really sit down too much. I get up and down all the time because I'm always forgetting stuff or wandering around the house, wondering what to do, where to start. Generally both. But yeah, I've learned over the years, because I've been fainting for ever since I was 7 was the first time.
Oh wow.
Everyone just thought I was, a little bit sensitive. But yeah, if I get scared and all that sort of stuff.
Well, that was scary.
It took until.
That would scare me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, blood. If I see blood or needles and all that sort of stuff, I get dizzy. And Mum blames herself. She's like, I don't know where that comes from. I said, it's congenital. Baby, I was born this way. Sorry, I've got a bit of heartburn and stuff.
It's okay.
Glad you're awake, Ben.
So, considering all the stuff that's happened at my house is flagged for DV. So they know me. So the first two paramedics walked through the door and they're all ready for it to be a DV incident. They walked in and I recognised them straight away. One was a red-headed little goblin, quite rude, but patient. They've always been patient with me. But I'm sure they were expecting to be blast through the house and me to be like a crazy, upset person that I usually am when they get there. But I was calm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the house was tidy, cluttered because I haven't been able to do much, but tidy, peaceful. I had butterflies on and calm music and all that sort of stuff. And I was relaxed and pretty chill because I had my peaceful music on. I was doing breath, box breathing and stuff, and I was doing that on the phone to the 000, which is our version of 911. But every time I stopped, I lost breath because my chest was tight. It was pain. And I was like, this hasn't happened to me before. I'm not used to pain. yeah, so anyway, I just took their questions and they wouldn't let me speak. So, and the more frustrated I get, the faster I talk. Hi, Mischief. And I talk fast anyway. I've had to slow it down for Aussies and Queenslanders. As I was talking to Mischief yesterday, I talk fast. So, yeah. Anyway, I got more and more frustrated because they weren't listening, because I didn't look up what the version of female heart attacks is. I know the male version, but female heart attacks are looking into now again. Anyway, went down and they wouldn't give me the first readout, the ECG readout, and they said it was fine. And so I have this version of oversharing when they come in. I tell them my medical history, everything that's happened previously, and everything that's happened that night. They generally only want to hear that's happened that night, but because these people know me, they walked in with
Preconceived.
pre-expectations. Yeah. So, and they knew they knew I had alcohol issues, and I said that I've been coming off alcohol slowly. As soon as they heard that, they were like, "Well, you're withdrawing." I'm like, "How can I be withdrawing if I've been drinking?" And I've been withdrawing. Like, not withdrawing. I know what withdrawals feels like for me, myself.
Yeah.
And I knew I wasn't withdrawing. I know what that feels like. And I'd had enough that day to maintain. I felt fine alcohol-wise. I just felt this immense pain. And I've seen Grey's Anatomy. I saw Dr. Bailey have that weird heart attack thing. And I was like, I don't think it's a heart attack, but I'd rather be wrong. I'd rather be right and look silly than be wrong and, wake up dead.
Yeah.
So, or not wake up, And then they said the first one was fine, but I should go to the hospital for a checkup.
Okay.
And I've been with those two particular people before, and they wheeled me in. I had an ECG in the thing, and they wheeled me, and then I got taken to the mental health lounge. So I'm like, nah, because they said, we recommend you go to the hospital, because this is their spiel. We recommend you go to the hospital and they can check your heart, but you have a choice. And normally I'm very compliant, because normally I had my ex with his hand on my back, sort of saying, yeah, you should go. And I'm like, no, I'll check with my doctor in the morning, because I had a look, and I sort of asked them for this, and they're like, we think you should go. And I said, well, if I have a choice, my choice is no, and I'll check with my doctor in the morning, or go to, a different doctor if she's not available. And I said, can I have that reading? And they said, well, if you're going to go, we'll do a second reading before you go. And by this time, I was a bit anxious. My heart was racing. And then, because it's I don't often have arrhythmias, just when I'm generally stressed. And every now and then, it's not very often. And so they don't normally pick it up. I have to wear a Holter monitor for at least 24 hours or, 4 days or whatever. So they picked up a regular reading. And, so I'm like, may I have that, please? I wanted both of them so I can show my doctor. And they said, sure. And then they conferred over it and whatever. This one was a little bit longer. And then they said, this is a regular reading. And I was like, okay, well, I'll take that to my doctor. And they're like, all right, bye. And I may be neurodivergent, but I can read a room, and that comes from CPTSD. I read the room as soon as they walked in.
Yeah.
And and they were combative, because they expected me to be, and I never was. It was my partner, and they thought, and that's when they brought up, like when I said no, that's when they brought up my history. They asked where my son was. My son never came out of his room. They asked where my daughter was, and then they asked where my partner was, meaning
the person. Yes.
Yeah. So
what's that got to do with
like,
the price of beans? What's that got to do with anything?
that just means that they knew who I was and they remembered everything. Because up to that point, they didn't make note. They didn't let me know that they knew who I was. And that's when all the trauma, CTPSD hit in. And I was just like, and then they made me prove that my machines weren't working, because they said, well, why did you call us here tonight? And I said, because I felt strange, because I haven't had this sort of pain before. and my machines aren't working. And then they made me prove that my machines aren't working. And I was like, really? This is degrading.
Yeah.
No,
And
they
so
shouldn't
I
have done
proved it
that.
to them. Yeah. And then I just like, and for the rest of the night, I felt like I might die. And I didn't have that feeling. So I didn't sleep until like early. And I sort of went in and woke my son up and said, look, it's probably fine. But I feel like it's more like at this point I felt like it was more of a panic attack because I ended up having like the tight band around my chest and all that sort of stuff, and that's panic.
Yeah.
And I know the difference. And well, I've never had a heart attack, obviously, so I don't know what that is, but I know what panic attack is.
Mhm.
So anyway, the next day I waited until because the pain was just still there, and my sister was like, "It's probably muscle pain because she has the same sore shoulder, same right shoulder, same pain, blah blah blah." And so I was like, oh, damn it. So I called 13 Health, which is our health service. Sorry for the long story.
It's okay.
I'm keeping it together mostly now. And they ended up calling because, like, I actually did Google and I ticked off all the boxes for mini strokes. Mini heart attacks. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sakes. And then so I called 13 Health to explain, and then she called the ambulance for me this time. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. Ended up, 2 different people came, knew them too. They were much calmer, much nicer, better time of the day.
Mm-hmm.
I showed them the reading and they said it's bullshit. There's no conclusive, there's nothing conclusive in there. I'm like, I didn't think so either because I've been reading these things for ages. There's nothing in there. They lied to me. They flat out lied to try and trick me to go to hospital. And I just said, well, I thought so too because I looked at it all day and I couldn't see anything. I went back and went through my other, Holter monitor readings, and I could see clearly where I had an arrhythmia. It was noticeable. So it was just like, and then they took another reading and longer. They spent time, and they asked me how my kids were genuinely. They didn't mention my former person.
Thank God.
Okay.
Yeah, I just, had a conversation and asked how I was doing, and I told them all about how I do meetings every day, even if I don't attend them, I still watch them. And I said that, I'm reducing, and I said that because I think I had, 4 drinks yesterday after 3 o'clock, and I went to bed by 8:30.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
I was
8:30 p.m. or a.m.? Were you up all night?
No, not up all night. Like I wake up to have drinks of lemonade because I've got to keep my sugars up. My sugars are good. My heart rate was good. Like it was up high for me, considering. But it went lower as soon as they told me that everything was fine.
Of course.
So I've still got the pain, and I know it's not heart related because the pain's still there when I touch it, even though. So it's muscle pain related to my shoulder because I haven't seen my physio. So there's a reasonable explanation for everything if they took everything into context, as it generally is. So I think the whole thing is a little bit hilarious, even though right now it doesn't seem funny.
No.
But it just shows, people's. I'm not the person who I was when they met me at the time.
That's right.
And there's nothing I can do to change their opinion of me because they only saw me as a snapshot in my worst moments, and I'm still not in my best moment now, and it doesn't matter,
right?
Because the people who know me have seen the change.
Exactly.
So, and they actually the ones I saw yesterday, they actually treated me with kindness and respect, and they always have, and so did the other ones. But I have to understand that these people have been to my house so many times, and they've seen so much of me and at my worst that they must get pretty sick of coming to my house. And I have to say that I've actually not called the ambulance when I should have. Because
you shouldn't be afraid. Yeah, you shouldn't be afraid to call because of their reactions. Their job is to come to you and not make you feel guilty, not minimize what's happening for you.
I don't think it's their fault. It's the fact that there's so many women out there who react badly because they're there, because they're stuck in Stockholm syndrome, and I was too.
Yeah.
And it's like, the thing is, I really wanted to say, I really wish I could have told you what was happening, but I couldn't because I was trapped. And if I had told you, I would have suffered more, but I couldn't. One day I'm going to thank them for having such patience, but I want to thank them when I've had like at least a year sober, because they helped me too. Like, they asked me, because they could see what was going on. Like, in the ambulance, the police asked me, because they could all see. Everybody saw, and I could see it in the police reports. They could all see that I was suffering, and they all asked me, is there anything you want to tell me? And I couldn't, because I had to go back.
Yep.
So, they all, and in some way, they all helped me. And even yesterday, their attitude, like, I was like, maybe I should just have another couple of drinks so I can sleep. But I was like, no, they made me stronger in the fact that, there's a stigma attached to
God, and
being,
that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
I
No, it's nobody's, it's not the person's fault when that's happening to them. What the?
Yeah.
I see it as a silver lining. Instead of, I've turned a point. Instead of feeling bad about it, they're never going to come to my house for domestic violence or anything like that again. If they're going to come to my house, it's going to be, well, God hope not. It's going to be for a health issue or, but I hope not.
That's
the
right.
next time they see me, it's going to be because it's going to be me thanking them for helping me on my sober journey. Because without that, I might not have I turned a corner yesterday, and, instead of letting it break me, it made me stronger, because it's like, and it's not my shame, and it's not so much.
That's right.
It's not, and it wasn't, I don't know, it was hard to explain. It wasn't like a disdain, it was disappointment.
Okay. Okay.
And I didn't get that from the second people. I got kind of like, I got genuine smiles and kind of like a sense of like, you're doing well,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
yeah. So it's like,
You know what? So true here. Misha says more education is necessary for those in the support fields. We must fight for that. And yes, golly,
It's frustrating because you feel like, as a typical citizen, you should be able to call emergency services, get the help that you need, hopefully not have that experience that first time around there for you, Cosmic, and then have to wait and have somebody else call and send another set of paramedics.
the thing is,
But
I'm not the typical citizen. I'm a neurotypical citizen who was a survivor. So
yeah, yes,
that's what I think is my goal. I need to advocate for people who are neurotypical, because we're not, neurodivergent, because we make up more than 50% of victims and more than 50% of addicts. And then we're more likely to be victims. We're more likely to be addicts, neurodivergents, and people out there who are neurodivergent who don't even know. Especially women, and exactly, so I feel like that's probably going to be my goal eventually, because I am neurodivergent. I raised at least one, and most of my friends are neurodivergent. We find our tribe, and like we found our tribe here, and it's just like, and we think differently. We don't see things the same, and so we don't even know we're being abused until we're in the thick of it, and then we don't know how to get out of it or how to tell people.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's where my goal lies, is to educate those who work with neurodivergent, because I don't think I can work with neurodivergents, because sometimes we're pretty annoying. My friends find me pretty annoying.
So, still, what's that got to do
see,
with anything?
Oh, well, see, the thing is, I find them annoying too, so that's why I need, like, sometimes a couple of weeks away. Because, and it's not them I find annoying, it's just people in general. Like, it's just, at the shops right now, like, I just can't handle it. Like, I can't wait to go to the shops on, I don't know, New Year's Day. So they're open because, like, no one's going to be there on New Year's Day.
Yep.
So I'll go there.
Everything here will be closed New Year's Day. That's a crappy thing. All the days that like we would want to be at the store because nobody else is going to be out, Canada just closes the stores.
That's why we get along so well, Misha. Yeah, but it's just like, I don't know. It's just like I've been at home so long. Every time I go out now, I feel crowded because my house is so quiet. And like I know that my housemate and his little girl's going to come back today, and he has no control over that kid, and she's just unbridled joy and annoyance because he doesn't know how to control her. And it's like I told her that she's allowed to say no in certain instances, like because like she was coming over to my table and touching my stuff, and she was doing that whining thing, and I'm like, whining doesn't work on me. Otherwise, my kids would not have made it to the age they are. So then she's like, and I'm like, stop it. And she tried to start something, and I'm like, I'm allowed to say no, And she's like, am I? And I said, in certain instances, like if someone tries to tell you the secret, tell you to keep a secret, you say no. And that goes to anyone. If I try to say keep a secret, you say no. And now she's going around to her dad saying, I'm allowed to say no when she's trying to brush her hair. I said, hey, I said that's only for certain instances. I said, when your dad's trying to get you ready for school, you're not allowed to say no then. That's where that came from. I said, yeah, well, you got to talk to her about that. I've done my job.
That's your parenting job. I was just letting her know it was good for a girl, okay?
Yeah. It's not even my parenting job. I'm just
I meant him, sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
I meant him.
Oh, look, if he leaves me, like, after a certain time, I run by, like, I'm not good with time, but I'm good with, like, hours. So you say you're going to be back in 2 hours, after that, it's free for all. So, but yeah, I'm not doing any more babysitting. I just can't.
Okay.
That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Kitty. Hi, baby.
Hi, Henny.
But
yeah, I've actually got a bucket next to me because I've not been doing so well on the. Honestly, I think it's all the sugar. I'm not used to this much sugar. Even alcohol's full of sugar. It takes a while to turn to sugar. It's not instant.
Yeah.
And, but I got told to drink lots of lemonade and eat yogurt, and I don't think they mix well.
No. Lemons and yogurt, no.
Yeah.
Even apple juice for me. Any apple juice or citrusy juices, and I have some sort of dairy that day, I'm done. I'm
I
done.
can't stand apple juice. It looks like pee.
I'm thinking of like a little elf on the shelf now with a glass of apple juice in front of him. I peed.
That little elf on the shelf creeps me out. I'm just like, I keep trying to hide it on my mates whenever I'm there. I'm like, well, I think he went missing. You're going to have to write a ransom note.
Yes. Oh my God, yes.
But yeah, I just wanted to come on and say I'm all right. And I've been I've been watching.
Okay.
I just haven't had the energy to come online, and I even had to repair my headphones because my computer's been over here being all sad and stuff.
Aw, it's like, why aren't you paying attention to me?
Yeah. But I've actually got a fireplace and a cave and a beach and the rain on my TV over there at the moment. So
Perfect.
I noticed you've got yours on the background there, Carol.
Yes, the fireplace in her background there. Steve was able to come and find the remote. It was a good thing because the squirrel ran off with the safe place on Carol. So we're good.
I've been carrying mine around with me so nobody can touch my shit.
Yes.
All right. Well, I love you all, and I'll go back to watching this on the TV because I've got the shaky leg thing. So
yeah. All right. Not a problem. Thank you for popping in and telling us how you are, though.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, I'll just do the. Hang on, I can't find the button. Love you. Peace.
Bye. Love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Hugs.
Ben the dust farter.
I just noticed the name change. Oh, my word. Oh, my word. I think he can have fun with the constant change of the name, and it'll just like Ben somewhere in it, and we're like, oh, yeah, that's Ben.
I think they don't let you change your name but a couple of times every 14 days.
That's okay, though. Gives them time to like build up a good one.
I had to learn that the hard way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I haven't tried changing my YouTube name. Oh, my goodness. Oh.
Why not?
I was thinking I should change my YouTube name away from my real name
Yeah,
because there aren't many people with my last name. There is
right.
another person.
There is.
I've seen the name, but I feel like I've seen it as a brand name. Am I off there?
I don't know about any brands with my last name, but anything's possible, and I just haven't seen it.
Okay.
I live under a rock. I don't know brand names anymore. I feel like there is a brand name that, though. I'm pretty sure. I just had to go back and look, but I feel like there is one.
Town south of Tommyville. Okay.
Tommyville, cute. I was like, where's Tommyville? And then I clued in. Yeah. That took me a second. Sorry, guys.
I forget things really easily. This is the part of the long COVID. Where does Tommy live again? Like Arizona or
Tucson or Phoenix?
Okay.
He's in Arizona. Yeah. For some reason, I had thought California at one point, but I think that's just because of all the Scientology connection that he has. And I'm like, but he seems so close to them. Like,
well,
you know,
I thought he served in California jail too, in one of the many.
Maybe so.
He was. I could be mistaken. Oh, Tucson.
Yeah.
Tucson.
Yeah, Tucson, Arizona. I ended up watching one of his brother's video the other day, and they had like a grapefruit that was the size of a softball, and they were eating it. It was very, very ripe grapefruit, but they said it tasted like a lemon, and it was hilarious watching these boys try and eat this grapefruit that tasted like a lemon. And of course, Johnny's beating Tommy because Johnny's got it all in his system, and Tommy's still working on it. But they're like, it's so sour. I'm like, getting something in my head here. It was funny. It was hilarious.
I'm usually really careful about what I put out on the internet. However, I've been so transparent here. I hope I'm not going to suffer for that later down the line. I hope not too, Mischief. But I mean, I haven't seen anything that anybody could use against anybody here. It's just life. And we're all trying to figure it out.
Yeah. And when we need to be cautious, we know that we need to be cautious and where, and that's about it. You know, but I can tell you I've definitely said more here than I've said in a lot of other group therapy sessions.
So this is more than I've put out. I've said more in these meetings than I think put most places, but then some of my friends on Facebook know. But then did I actually post it, or did I, because they're my friends and we talk?
Or did I talk to them about it? Yeah.
You know, and I think that, you know, somebody's got to model honesty somewhere on the planet. You know?
And good communication.
It's nothing but a thing. It's nothing but a thing.
Agreed.
You know? So I hope, I mean, I've shared pretty much, I mean, I may not have shared everything about my life, but it's just because I hadn't gotten to it yet.
We'll get there eventually. And then if we don't get there, she'll write a book for us.
Yeah.
We're all going to have our own books, and then we'll send each other our own signed versions. And then, you know.
Mischief, my stuff has been all over whether I want it or not. But I always remember this is available for anyone to see. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's just a thing. It's just a thing in a world of things. That's how that's me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I usually try to get out ahead of the narrative and out myself before somebody else outs me in a way that's not true or not real, you know?
Yeah. Because coming in front of it's a lot easier than behind it sometimes.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see here. It seems that a lot of keyboard warriors go after the way people look. And to be honest, I'm past caring about that. Right?
Good.
I'm
Yeah.
pushing
I
60
wish.
here. You know, I've got teeth missing. I mean,
I wish I didn't care, and I wished I felt comfortable in my own skin. But I've never weighed as much as I weigh now, and I'm insecure about that.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, I also, if I can help someone else, that's more important to me.
Yeah.
And
Same. Yeah. 100%. Social media has taught us to hide in plain sight from each other, and we know it's not real when everything's just so wonderful all the time, you know. I mean, I'm guilty. I just post the good stuff, you know, and every once in a while I'll throw somebody a bone and well, let's do Carol in a poopy mood today, and this is what it really looks like in day-to-day life.
Yeah.
I don't read the comments either for these.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm kind of afraid to, honestly.
So far, it's just been us
Okay.
commenting, even in the replay area. So yeah, and I'm kind of aggro, like surveilling for the trollers.
Mm-hmm.
We're not doing those. We're not letting that hang in the air. That's not,
No.
you know.
Yeah.
I do need to figure out how to remove comments because it says I can block people. I can, you know,
Oh,
but
okay.
it doesn't say I can remove comments. And that doesn't seem like that should be that way.
Were you trying to remove it in Restream or on the YouTube browser?
Restream, you know,
Okay.
yeah. If I put on YouTube, I have to put on mute, of course, because it'll go and re-echo and echo and re-echo.
Then there's 14 carols all of a sudden. It's like the never-ending mirror illusion, just with voices.
It took a lot of work, Rebecca, but as soon as I stopped caring, the world got a lot easier to live in for me. You know, it took menopause for me to get there.
I'm getting there. But I had a hysterectomy, so I don't really know when I'm going to know if
Okay.
I get there. So if I have my mother didn't have a lot of side effects other
Okay.
than having her period like every 9 days. So part of that is why I'm like, no ablation. We're doing the full hysterectomy.
Yeah.
Get all of that out. But yeah, so now I don't know.
Girl, we love you, Rebecca, and ain't nobody going to come here, especially with Misha having a wrench ready to use. Turkey leg. We have turkey legs, and we're not afraid to use them.
It's perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're not going to let anybody pick on our own. That's for sure. That's for sure.
Misha says, if need be, I am here. I can do the heavy lifting.
Turkey legs will travel.
Will travel. I've had ED since what? I've had what since the age of 8. No matter what I weigh, I feel obese. I was told the body dysmorphia stays even when the behavior stops. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Same with addiction. Same with addiction. You know, the mindset, it takes a while to get that turned around. You know,
Yeah.
just like a wound, a scar is going to stay. We were talking about scars earlier.
Yeah.
Stop the behavior 35 years ago. Well, congratulations. Yeah, that's fantastic. But yeah, I get the
Gonna stick around still.
yeah.
Yeah. Like even today we were very lucky. One of the local stores, like a smaller shop from downtown here, donated a whole bunch of fall winter clothes to the shelter for the moms for Christmas.
Oh, yay.
So we got to pick a couple of items each, and it was so nice and it was so kind. But the social workers are looking at me going, "You're not that size anymore, honey."
Oh.
And I'm trying these things on going, why doesn't it fit properly? Like, what's going on? They're like, you're not that size anymore. Like, we've watched you lose weight being here. You just actually don't realize how much.
Wow.
So I'm starting to, like, that's why I was saying earlier that imposter syndrome, almost like a body dysmorphia is starting. But again, everything is so fresh and everything is so new for me. Like, we're not even 2 months in me leaving yet. So everything is so fresh and new, and I'm doing it's called somatic exercises, and that's where you're able to release your hips and release cortisol, because the cortisol will stick in your hips longer than any other joint in your body.
Oh.
And I was doing it every day. I can't do it every day because I cry so bad every single time. So I'm like every 2 days, maybe 3 days. And when Rowan was here, I didn't do it at all because there was no way that I was going to be able to do that in front of him and bawl like that and feel like I wasn't putting him through something. Right. So I needed to step away for a few days, but it's interesting. The cortisol levels go down, your body just automatically loses weight. The cortisol levels go down, and like you're doing exercises, and you're just crying it all out. It's interesting. It's been a struggle there, but it's interesting.
So that's the dysmorphia, CK, is that you feel obese even though you're not. That's the dysmorphia. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a rough one.
Yeah.
And I loved being pregnant because I loved the clothes. That clothes felt normal. Interesting. Cortisol is one of my worst enemies.
I should send you some of those exercises, Misha. It sucks while I'm doing them because I cry and I cry and I cry. And honestly, like I wail. But by the time that I'm done and 2 or 3 hours later, after a nice hot shower and a cigarette, I'm okay. I'm okay. And I felt better than before, but it's definitely bringing me back into any feelings right now. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
And I think that that's where some of I'm disconnecting a little bit from the situation so that because I have to function and I have to do certain things to get to the next step. And I feel like if I'm feeling it, I'm not putting my energy where it needs to be right now. But my applications are in. I was focused on my applications. We were missing like 4 or 5 pieces of paper. And we're like, what's going on here? Messaging my lawyer. I'm like, you're sending me the wrong tax information. I need my tax information. So, it's back and forth because I can't just go over there and get the information myself. I've got to talk through the lawyer. Not only that, we're an hour and a half away from each other now.
Oh, wow.
So it's a little bit more difficult, but hey, I got it, and I got it by Friday, and my goal was to have all of the forms in the Friday before Christmas. So it's done. It's done. It may be late today, but it's done.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yes.
So
go you. That's huge.
Yes. Now it's just sitting the next couple of days. I'm going to do some more of the exercises. I have a meeting already planned in person tomorrow. They give you like homework. So you have your talk session, and then at the end of the talk session, they give you homework. And then you take 2 or 3 days to do that. And then they come back and you do another one and then another one. So it's been good to kind of guide my healing process. if that makes sense, because I just didn't know where to start and all of the emotions are happening. Then what emotion do I focus on?
Yeah.
What emotion? And it sounds dumb, but in my head, it's like, what emotion is more important to deal with right now? Because if I get this one done, then the next one will be easier. But if I do this one first, then I'm questioning everything. So they say it's normal. They say it's normal.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Definitely think so.
One step at a time.
Right.
And it sounds like multiple of us would love to know those exercises because I have excessive amounts of cortisol too.
Someone was saying earlier that they'd like to know.
I'll put it in the Need a Meeting Facebook group. I'll find a couple YouTube videos that I've been using, but there's also apps. I just don't want to pay for an app right now. So there's a few apps that you can like get 2 or 3 exercises and then you pay for the extra ones.
Okay.
Okay. I haven't found a free one yet, but the YouTube video is completely free.
A lot of
Thank you. Yes.
Okay. So Ben is saying just the last 4 years, gained a lot of weight, always skinny. A lot of his liver damage.
Yeah.
The liver can repair itself eventually. Hopefully.
Unless you have fatty liver disease or something like that, that it's a long-term effect.
Yeah.
Then you have to mend the disease before the liver will start mending itself, right?
Okay.
So, like for my uncle, he ended up passing away from his liver issues from drinking, but it was fatty liver disease at first, and he was trying to lose weight, and there was no way. There was absolutely no way until the liver was able to repair itself, which it never did.
Oh.
Yeah, it's fatty liver. Yeah. So once you're able to take care of that, I don't know. I don't even know if that's 100% mendable at this point, but I do know that there's medications to help.
Okay.
That's for sure. I do know that there's medications to help with that.
Okay.
Yeah. So maybe talk to your doctor and see if there's anything that they could prescribe.
He confirms it is that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. First stage kidney failure.
It's not good to disassociate. It was a nightmare. That is good though. Don't allow yourself to disconnect any more than possible though. It's not good to disassociate. That's true. It is a nightmare. Yeah. And it's hard to get out of that. It is very hard. I'm gonna bring it up next Tuesday to the doctor. So just to make sure, get the checklist out. I'm concerned that this might be something, may not be, but I need to make sure that I asked. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And mainly it's dreams. I'm having super vivid dreams. This past week, I was certain that my meeting with the social worker already happened. It didn't. It was that day. So like that had happened last week. And then this morning I woke up with all of the dreams about my ex-partner. And it was like, I woke up expecting to be in that house.
Oh, I hate that.
So it's happening more and more now. But at the same time, Wee Man just started going for unsupervised visits last weekend.
Yeah.
So that's 2 weekends back to back. I only had him for 3 days in between.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure that some of this is emotions.
Yes.
And how just how I'm processing, but my brain processing on its own.
You know, I mean, after my brother beat me up, I would wake up dreaming that I was right back in that. And it was very vivid. It was like I was really there. Yeah. And it took a while for those dreams to not be.
Yeah. Like it seems like when I was taking the lorazepam, it stopped. And then they didn't come back until I was overly emotional again. And I still have some lorazepam on hand, but I don't want to take it if my body doesn't need it. I was only taking it when I had the shakes.
Okay.
Because at this point I can settle myself down. I can get myself from an emotional mind to a rational mind. That's awesome. I don't need the medication to help with that anymore, but my body was still shaking for a while. Okay. And this morning I woke up with a little bit of shakes because I expected to wake up in that house.
And just the even possibility that your son is now having to be there.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just, I know this time around, though, like I didn't have to go to the child services office this time. It was my ex-partner's mom that picked him up. So wee man's grandma picked him up.
Okay.
So, that was a little bit easier for me because I got to actually see him leave. I got to actually say goodbye when he was in the car. So that was a little bit easier for me.
Okay.
But then it's just like, but then I have to go right back to child services the next visit, which would be just before court the next time. So like he'll leave January 5th. I'll get him back on the 8th, but then I have a meeting on the 8th and a meeting on the 9th with child services and court on the 11th and then also on the 16th. It's like, could you guys have not like told me this not right before the holidays? That would be great. That would be wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah.
But I understand people have to get things said so that I have warning as well, not just a day warning or something like that.
Right.
I understand, but it doesn't mean that I like it.
Right.
Mischief, you like the Italian Job?
The movie?
Yep. Because that's in there.
Is it?
I don't remember if it's exactly those things, but I think it is.
Okay.
Because he talks about that's what fine is.
Is that the bank robber movie?
Yep.
Okay.
And they, well, not really bank. They rob a vault.
Okay. I knew it was something to do
Or
with
a
heist
safe.
of some kind.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
And the only reason why I know that movie, well, obviously I watched it, but the only reason why it sticks in my head is in Ontario, there's a place called Canada's Wonderland. And it used to be Paramount Canada's Wonderland, like the Paramount movie theaters or movie studios. And they have a ride there that was called the Italian Job. But now that they've taken away the Paramount, they had to call it something else. And I love roller coasters. So give me an adrenaline rush any day. There we go. My chat wants to like stay still and not move today. So I keep having to like swipe down.
I'm watching the minutes of sunset finally start to move from it held at 5:03 for like ever. And now it's starting to every other day, like every day, every other day, move a minute, move a minute, move a minute. So sunset's starting to, ease its way toward being longer daylight days, but it won't be for a while. But the puppies were out in the goat pasture again, and they looked like they were doing good. I drove up, and all the dogs were nice and calm and, curled up around the tree.
Cute.
So that was fun. But little chicken guys out there and little puppies are out there. I wonder if Steve is going to go to practice tonight. Do you guys care if I go check on that real quick?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yep. What is FEAR? Is that a program? Fear? It's capitalized. So I'm wondering, AA. I learned that in AA, and same with fear. Is that a different program in the UK, maybe? There we go. I've been able to move my thing now. Sorry. I can see it now. Oh, yeah. Are you quilting anything right now?
Well, yes and no. Money is pretty tight.
Yes.
Because when I moved the whole move is better, but it ended up being more expensive to live here than I had originally expected, anticipated, and budgeted, etc. So, things are a little tighter than planned.
Yes.
So I'm making things for Christmas, and
Perfect.
so I'm doing kind of family things. So I made chocolate chip cookie dough for a batch for everybody. So everybody, you just put it in the oven when you want it. And then I made kitchen towels. So I made 2 hanging and just 2 standard. I started quilting a casserole cozy. So it can't go in the microwave, but it's heat resistant, so you can carry your casserole to the table with it. And
yes, that's a great idea. And you know what? Personally, I enjoy getting those gifts more than something that was bought for me. Because it's like, I know that the maybe because I'm a crafter as well. I will crochet things for people for Christmas. So it might be because I put my heart and soul into something and give it to somebody, and it's just like, I just want somebody to put their heart and soul into it and give it to me instead of here's a box of chocolates.
Yeah. And I love making something that, because I have fun sewing and doing all of that. And I want it to be something that's useful. So I don't want it to be something that the casserole cozy may not happen. So I was going to make
Okay.
one for each kind of family group, because there's 3
Okay.
that are part of my chosen family. Involves, it's my first ex's twin brother, and his wife is one of my closest girlfriends, and then her parents, and then her brother and his new wife. So there'll be 7 of us.
That'll be amazing. That'll be very amazing. Oh my goodness. And just, are you going to get to see everybody on Christmas Day?
Yeah, we're going to do noon on
Okay.
Christmas Day. We're going to go over to Nancy's, my chosen mom's house. And usually my chosen dad makes hot chocolate, like real hot chocolate.
Oh,
And we have that with whipped cream on it, and then open gifts, and then brunch. Though this time, because it's noon, we might do brunch first. I don't know.
yes.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Food might be necessary immediately, but at the same time, I'm just the person who's like, I'll skip food. Let's just do the family stuff. I'm okay. Let's go. Let's go.
Well, and there's usually cookies. So it's hot chocolate and cookies are there while we're all in the living room. Yeah.
Perfect. Oh, we're going to get chicken butt again.
Chicken butt.
That's so adorable. I want to.
I love how he just jumps around you. It's great.
He's an odd one. Normally by this age, they're like, they don't want anything to do with me. They're like, they've decided, oh, I'm supposed to be scared of you. You know,
Aw.
Yeah.
this one's not.
Pole dance chicken butt. Oh goodness.
That's great.
Yeah.
Chicken butt in my face. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Oh, he's pole dancing there for you. It's good. It's good. And Misha, don't be too hard on yourself. Don't say you're a glutton for punishment. You got a lot going on. And hey, I understand that there's some health stuff happening too, but we have to have some forgiveness for ourselves, or else we're not going to be able to make it through as, I wouldn't say as easily, maybe as healthily as we can. Nope, the cat's like, I hear chicken.
Hello. Hello. There you go. She's like, Mom picked me up. I don't like getting picked up. She went off.
Oh,
We usually cuddle in the evening. And cuddling, I mean, she'll like come lay next to my leg on the couch, and we'll just kind of hang out. And
right on.
I
Just
needed
don't
that.
pick her up then, huh?
Huh?
Just don't pick her up and you're good, right?
Yeah, she doesn't like it. She didn't like it before me.
Okay.
So, but
How old is she?
she's 5 to 6 years old.
Okay. So
She's
that
been
is
with me
a
2
good
months,
age.
but she's
Yeah.
5 to 6.
Yeah.
We don't know exactly.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it's not going to change at this point. It is
Well,
what
It might
she's
be-
had lots of change in the last 2 months because she came to me. She hadn't been to the vet from the previous owners in over a year. So I took her to the vet, and she got all of her shots, and she got some extra shots because we didn't know what she'd had.
Yeah.
And they shaved her belly to tell whether she had been
And
spayed
yeah.
or is it neutered? Spayed, I
If
think.
it's a female, it's spayed.
Spayed. Yep. So check for that. So it was really traumatic. And so she's had and then she had to go back for a second vaccine. So she's been to the vet twice. She's a little unhappy. And
Oh,
There's been a lot of change.
yeah.
she's a sweetheart though. She's an absolute sweetheart. So
Yeah.
we'll
She's
go
so
check out some
pretty.
food apparently.
Have y'all noticed our fur feather babes and how they act with the screen interactions? Yeah. I have my second monitor on dog TV most of the day.
Yep.
That's awesome. DJ
My-
knows when I'm working because I have just a different space in my apartment for
Okay.
my office, and she'll come sit behind Sometimes she'll come walk around the chair, rub against my legs, then she kind of goes off.
Yeah. Just coming to say hi for a minute, and then I'm gone. Bye.
She doesn't jump up on the desk, so no people don't usually see her on my Zoom because I spend a lot of time on Zoom.
Yeah.
Not so much calls, but I've got a voice over IP line, so I could.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zoom.
Yeah.
Is voice over IP kind of like Magic Jack or something like that? Is that what that is?
I'm not sure what Magic Jack is.
Magic Jack is basically the original VoIP, and then Rogers, well, in Canada, Rogers, for example, started actually selling the VoIP lines. The Magic Jack you just put onto your phone line, and basically it hijacked the phone signal when you still had dial-up, right?
Got it. Okay.
So, yeah.
So is that what that is?
No, it's different.
Oh,
so mine is on my computer. I have to be connected to my work's VPN. So I'm remoted into the work, and we have WebEx, which is the software we use. And yeah, I've got a phone number, and I have voicemail that way. And if I needed to call out instead of calling on my cell,
you can use that.
Use the voice line. Yep. I usually do Zoom because I like this more personal interaction with people, and you can also judge a lot easier kind of where they're at, like technically. So usually that you can kind of see their face, and I can kind of tell where they're okay. Maybe they're not finding this.
Yeah, you can see it versus needing to try and listen extra careful. Be like, are you huffing or what?
Yep. And you can share your screen in Zoom. Nobody else can actually do anything on your screen, but you can share your screen in Zoom. And Bomgar is this app we use so we can remote into the computers for the people for our users.
Yeah.
Okay.
On the reservation, we had a guy that could do that. Our IT guy used to remote in. It was kind of freaky. It used to freak me out.
Yep. I've heard people say that. Yeah. Some people think it's really cool because all of a sudden I can just do it for them. And if they're struggling, as long as they get me in, then I can just kind of do the rest. And some people are really freaked out because all of a sudden their mouse is moving. And because I can't do the app without you allowing me to do that and, authorizing me to see everything. Yeah. But yeah, it's.
I can imagine. I had a boss once. I called IT because the POS system, it was a restaurant. The touchscreen POS system downstairs was connected to the computer upstairs because the computer upstairs was the server. So I end up calling in. She's just finished a traumatic breakup. Okay. We've had to change the security codes. We've had to change the security cameras. And I'm calling the POS system because I don't know how to use it at this point. I'm trying to get them to help me. And I've also taken over doing the paperwork at the end of the day. So I need them to show me everything that needs to happen. Right. And they're like, are you at the computer? I'm like, well, I'm at the touch screen, but no, I'm not at the server. And they're like, oh, you should probably go upstairs to the server. I'm like going around and showing you some stuff. Okay. I get up there and she's losing it, completely losing it. Who's on my computer? Is he getting into my computer right now? And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I am so very, very sorry. I should have told you I was on the phone with IT. I'm now here. This guy's on the phone. Here, you can talk to him. He's the one doing it.
You know what? Same here, Misha. I hear POS and automatically think PISO.
Yeah.
Instead of point of sale.
Point of sale. Yeah.
So Zelda wants to know if that was a black and white kitty like her kitty, Stella or Stella.
Stella.
Yes, my cat's a tuxedo, black and white.
So I love the little black and white kitties. They're usually really soft, I've noticed.
Well, and she has a little bit of dandruff issues. And so we kind of assumed it's dry, maybe it was her diet. So she's been getting some treats that have like extra skin and coat. And so her coat's super soft now.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
It wasn't so soft before. So she's gotten a little bit, I might be spoiling my pet. I was going to say, sometimes I think she eats better than I do.
Yeah. I know that feeling.
I mean, what are they there for if not to spoil?
She earns it. to your
For
answer.
my orange tabby, I had to put coconut oil in his food because he ended up having such bad dandruff, but I couldn't keep him in long enough. I couldn't keep him in to keep him clean long enough to keep the dandruff down, to keep an eye on it. And just about a quarter of a teaspoon of coconut oil melted and put on top of his food, and it was perfect. It helped his coat completely.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're
I will
welcome.
try
It's
that 'cause I've got
cheaper.
coconut oil.
I wonder
Yeah,
if
and it's
putting a little bit of flax meal in would also help.
It's possible. Yeah. And all of these are natural and they're good for them, right? So, yeah. Coconut oil is the bomb. I use it even to whiten my teeth. Put a teaspoon in your mouth and you swish it around with a little bit of baking soda. Yeah, it takes a while and it takes a process. It's like a month before you notice anything, but I hate the taste of it does. I hate the taste of the whitening strips or
Yeah.
any of those products, and
Yeah.
my tongue is always like burnt after I've used them.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, so I
have
use
sensitive
baking,
teeth, so I can't use those whitening strips.
coconut oil and a tiny bit of baking soda and just swish it around your mouth. That's it. Takes about a month before you notice a difference, but if you keep it up like a routine 2 to 3 times a week, you'll notice a difference.
Very cool. So
And
you
it'll
said
keep the
2 times a
plaque
week?
down too. Yeah. 2 to 3 times a week. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
You're
That's
welcome.
awesome.
Coconut oil for everything. Hair, skin, mouth, pets.
Yeah.
Helps coat stay shiny and healthy. Teeth pulling, swig of coconut oil, healthy and great.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's great on your skin too. So dryness in the wintertime, some coconut oil rubbed in your skin.
That's what I use to heal all my tattoos.
That's such a good remedy.
That's awesome.
He's going to sleep on my arm. He's sheepy. It's time for sheepy boy, huh?
Aww.
Little chirps are adorable.
I know.
Oh,
He makes me want a chicken.
yes, me too.
You know, sometimes they don't, but I hope this one does. That would be so much fun to have I had a chicken that I had to raise because it got stepped on by a goat when it was a little guy, little smaller than this guy. And after a day or two, it started wobbly, kind of standing up on its legs again, and then it stopped. It just couldn't get up anymore. A week passes, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So I go online and I learn how to make a little walker out of PVC pipe with a little hammock across it. That chicken did learn how to walk.
Yay!
Yeah, but I mean, he always looked like he was walking around with his head back and his chest puffed out, but he walked.
But he walked. Yeah.
Kick walk, but he walked. And I don't know what got him, but something did. But I could pick him up. Yeah,
I wonder if this guy that you have right now, because you said he's the last one left, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if that connection, the need for the bond, that's why he's like taken to you. You're now mama,
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want a chicken.
Yes, and you could use him for an emotional support animal, because apparently you can wash them. Because at work they would do, I can't remember if it's called Pets, but it's a program where they would bring animals in so you could go pet animals, and there's a couple chickens that would come in.
Wow.
So you can have emotional support chicken.
Yeah.
And they make little, like, it liked being kind of hugged like this, and it would make these little cute little sounds, and it was happy.
Oh, how sweet.
It was adorable.
It's amazing. 30 minutes before my picture. I'll be listening to you. Love you too, Misha.
Yeah. We'll try and plan a call or something too. Put heads together.
Yeah. Carol's got my contact information. So I send to you my cell phone number. I usually just ask that people text first, because I don't answer calls if I don't know the number. Okay. But I send to you from my work email, so you have my email as well as my cell number.
Perfect.
Zelda, I think this chicken is I'll have to look on my Instagram to know for sure. That's how I kind of save dates for like when things are born and around the farm and whatnot. But I know he's at least a month old, maybe older.
Yeah. You already had the chickens by the time I met you guys. So a little bit older than a month, I would say.
Yeah.
When did you join?
Oh, November 10th was my first day here.
Wow.
Yeah, November 10th was my first day here, and oh my God, I went back and I watched the video and I was a sobbing mess. So I've started going back and watching the first few videos, and that way I can remind myself of the progress. That way when I'm feeling stagnant, when I feel like I have not moved anywhere, I can remind myself that I've done something. So it's almost like a video diary now for me as well, for me to go back upon.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like, it's not just, oh, I'm coming on here to talk now, now I'm actually trying to find more. How can I help myself further? Okay, well, I'm feeling stagnant. Let's see what I looked like in the beginning.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
It helps.
I remember. Yeah. I mean, you skyrocketed.
Thank you.
I
think I was ready. I think I was ready.
Yeah.
I was ready to be out of the situation, and I had lost myself many, many, many years before. Yeah. So I think I was just tired of being in that shell, and I needed so badly to find me. And sorry, I saw Mischief ask a question about bad dog breath. In Canada, there's this liquid you can put in the dog's water that smells like mint. It's an all-natural product, and you can get it at any pet store.
I think we've got that here too.
And with my St. Bernard Shepherd cross, she had the worst breath because she was raw fed. And we would put that in her water, and within 2 or 3 weeks, we noticed a huge difference. Huge difference.
Very cool.
So I did see that, and I wanted to make sure I mentioned it.
If you're in Key West, you can go to jail if you hurt any kind of chicken. They're protected and run around everywhere. I love that.
That's amazing.
I love that. I think chickens should be able to just run around anywhere they want to. Mine free range.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's that whole thing of that fine line between free range and free lunch,
It is. It is, especially in places where they think, oh, farms are going to be the place where to find it. Here, let's go. But it's like, no, this is my home. Not only that, it's my livelihood. So please stay away.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do.
We had wild turkeys. I was positive that they were wild turkeys because there was no turkey farm around us at the last place where we lived. And we decided that one year we're going to go out with a crossbow, and we got 2 turkeys for that Christmas dinner. And that was the best turkey I've ever had, was wild turkey.
Right on.
Yeah. But
I've never had it.
They were skinny. That's why we needed 2.
I don't know if I ever could because they're so pretty.
Yeah.
They're beautiful animals. I am not professing to be a vegetarian yet, but I am day by day finding that I'm choosing not to eat meat because Steve has been a vegetarian since 1988.
Wow.
And,
okay.
Huh?
I said, wow, I didn't know that he had been a vegetarian that long.
Yeah. Yeah. He eats dairy, cheese, things like that, but not eggs.
Okay.
Yeah. And he can usually tell if somebody's used like any kind of animal rendering, like whether it be fat or broth or anything like that. And he'll usually give it over to me if he's discovered that something he's ordered has some kind of animal product in it. But yeah, I'm not committing to being a vegetarian yet, but ow.
Did he just peck you?
Yeah, I have a little skin tag that he thought would be a nice little morsel to eat.
Your friends, let me help you. Oh goodness.
I don't know if I'm becoming a vegetarian, but so far I wish I'd kept track of the last time I ate meat because it's been a while.
It probably is definitely helping, well, one, you're an animal lover. And two, the fact that he's already been vegetarian for so long, it's just easier to cook one meal instead of two different meals.
Mhm.
I like that. I know that they can do the surgical teeth cleaning. They have to put them out for that though. They have to anesthetize them, and I've always been a little bit leery of doing that.
Yeah.
DJ's got to have that done because it's probably never been done. And so when I take her in April, I figured it would be traumatizing to do that now for her.
Yeah.
So in April, when it's been 6 months, I got to take her in and have her get her teeth cleaned because she's got gingivitis and some issues and
Yeah.
nothing like dangerous, or I would have had her in right away. I don't want to like worry anybody, but yeah, she's got the beginnings of gingivitis and tooth issues. I want to kind of nip it in the bud and not traumatize her any more than I have to.
Exactly. Any more than you have to.
Mistress says, I'm terrified of birds, Carol. Now I know why. I should never have watched Hitchcock's The Birds when I was a child.
Oh goodness.
Well, then I'll put little chicken guy. He needs to go to bed anyway. I'll go put him to bed and we'll finish.
Say hi to Kristen, who's in the chat now as well.
Hi, Kristen. Good to see you. Be right back.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I still love seeing the chicken.
Yes. I love for a while I thought I didn't like birds, and then I met like a whole bunch of chickens and I was like, okay, I love chickens. I just like chickens. That is it. I had a childhood or a child's moment of trauma where it's like a seagull comes down and steals your French fry. But I lived in Toronto when I was a kid, so the big McDonald's playland was outside, and it was big and it was gated. But the seagulls would come right down and take French fries out of the kids' hands. Yeah. Oh, they were gutsy. They'd chase the kids. Yeah, I don't like seagulls.
I'm not a huge fan of seagulls either.
No.
I used to I stayed a summer when I was in college up in Duluth, Minnesota, which is right on Lake Superior.
Yes.
Tons of seagulls everywhere. And we used to call them flying rats. And I realized that was a disservice to the rats because rats were better and better. Not sewer rats, not like the really crazy ones.
The domesticated ones.
The domesticated ones are sweet as pie. They're like dog personalities in a little tiny body.
Yes, I just can't handle having male rats. I've tried male rats, not my thing. My last two were female. And one was a Dumbo, fancy Dumbo with the big ears.
Aww.
And she was the cutest thing. But both of those girls had to have been sick when I adopted them because one was sneezing blood right away and she passed away shortly after. That was Mimi. And then Poppy, the person told me she should live for like another 2 years. She was about a year old when I got her.
And she lived 2 years-ish.
Yeah, she ended up living until she was almost 4.
Awesome.
Yeah, apparently they like dog food and they do well with dog food. Yep, cheaper than buying rat food. And it's the same ingredients, it's the same things that they need, and then throw her some frozen vegetables sometimes. That was it. And she's escaped from her cage. She was Houdini. So like I would wake up in the morning and she'd be on the bathroom floor and I'm like, Miss, it's time to go back downstairs. So
well, I'm glad you found her because that like my biggest fear would be that they would get out and they'd get into like a wall and I'd never be able to get to them again.
I don't know what it was. I think she just wanted to be near people because after she lost Mimi, that's when she started coming out of her cage all the time because I bought them as a bonded pair. So
they're social and they are pack animals the same way like dogs are.
Yeah. So I think she was just coming to her pack. She was finding her people, and she would just sit on my shoulder That was it. Every so often, be like, "Where's Poppy?" It's like, so she's in my bun somewhere. I don't know where exactly, but she was scratching up there at one point. But yeah, she just wanted to be near her people once she lost Mimi, and I was not getting another rat. I was not bonding a set of rats. I purchased a bonded pair for a reason, and it was. I wanted to teach my wee man the cycle of life.
Yeah.
Because I knew that we had a cat that we already had adopted that was a bit older. He's getting close to his age. So I wanted something that could help him understand the cycle of life before that happened.
Yeah.
So that it helped. It definitely helped in figuring out some of that closure. And now he's just like, okay, so this is going to happen with this animal and I'll be okay because now I understand what's going to happen. And
until he gets really attached to one of them, then
that's going to be Rocket. That he's not going to have an easy time when Rocket gets old, and he's such a large dog that his lifespan is apparently 8 to 10 years. And he's almost 2 already.
Okay.
So
I'm a huge fan of that clay-like material you can get in an art supply store, and I did footprints. Like a paw print of each one of my rats, and their name was written in the clay, and I've still got those, and I still miss my fur babies.
Yeah. Rats are so much more friendly than people expect.
Yeah. Yep. They're much more social than people expect.
Yeah.
And trainable.
There used to be a rat at the salon I worked at in Fayetteville, and the last salon, and it would come out and it would just sit there looking at me and eating whatever it had found and just sit there looking at me like, yeah, and
you know who I am. You're staring at me for what reason?
I started to freak out, and he's like, yeah, what? Okay.
I've seen enough human freakouts.
Yeah. My ex-landlady was freaked out by the tail and saw a picture where she couldn't see the tail. She thought it was a hamster. And she's like, that's so cute. And I'm like, actually, that's a rat. That right there is their tail. And then she's like,
I guess it's because they're basically hairless, their tails, right? But they're still kind of fuzzy.
Yeah,
they're still kind of fuzzy.
Yep. It's not completely hairless.
No. Has anybody tried the tube of terror? Not yet. I want to.
Tube of terror.
I'm pretty sure that's a spicy thing.
Oh, is that the stuff that Tommy ate in like 45 seconds and then was really, really ill after?
It very well could be.
Yeah,
There's a story about it.
I struggle with medium salsa, sometimes even mild.
Hot sauce. Yeah, hot sauce was like literally on every meal since I could put a spoon to my face. So, like hot sauce is salad dressing for me at this point, and I can't find a hot sauce that is like spicy enough for me yet. So when I found Johnny's channel, I was like, yes, this is where I'm going to start figuring things out.
Yes, that was the one.
And see, I
threw up and crying. Yeah,
girl, I didn't grow up with very much spices in general. Herbs or spices used in cooking. It was pretty bland. And now I'm still mild to medium. There's at the Indian restaurant, they've got mild plus. It's what it's called. And I'll get mild plus because I
don't know what Mander has, but whatever it is, he has one.
It's a hot sauce.
Okay.
Of 8 to 10. Oh.
CK wants to know what neurodivergence is. It's kind of an umbrella for all the things, autism spectrum, Asperger's, ADHD, right? That's
ADHD.
Right? So it's kind of the umbrella for all of the things.
Yeah.
And more than that, because there's a whole list of stuff that falls under neurodivergent. And I found out when I was 52. So apparently it's extremely common in my Gen X generation to not get it until you get closer to menopause when whatever your skills, whatever you were using suddenly doesn't, well, not suddenly, just stops working as well.
Yeah. And there's a very high possibility also that you were before, but as women, we were underdiagnosed with ADHD and autism specifically because it demonstrates much differently for us than it does for men. It's typically all internal. Then we learn how to mask.
Why my quiz before never turned up anything. Like, it's been years since I've taken any kind of test or anything like that.
And
there's a DSM-5 test online you can take. And you take that test, and honestly, it's so much easier to get diagnosed this way, especially in the States. Take your test, go to your doctor for your interview, and then it's pretty much done.
Okay.
Yeah. In Canada, it's a little bit harder, but I know in the States, because my friend got diagnosed in the States that way, and she was like, try this. And I'm like, okay, we're going to try. Okay. And then there's just a couple extra steps apparently here. But the DSM-5 test, instead of paying somebody about $4,000, you can do it yourself. Take those results to your doctor and then take the interview.
And that's
so then that way it's saving you a chunk of money.
Okay. My insurance paid the $3,500 to $3,800 that was the test. And I'm with you because I realized I brought this up actually on Monday in therapy. The realization that I'm sure I had ADHD and these like the neurodivergence. I'm sure I was when I was younger. But the way I was raised, we were required to sit at the religious meetings still. Like as a little kid, I would get spanked or your legs would get slapped or something. So like, no wonder I didn't fidget or do all those things because I couldn't.
Yeah.
I got spanked a lot. There was a stretch when it no longer hurt to the same level. Like you build up a pain tolerance.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not a good thing to have.
That is.
No, it's not.
Oh.
And my mom was angry when I didn't cry. But there was a certain point when I was a teenager and she was she didn't like beat me. After that, it'd be like one spanking or maybe two, but I didn't cry anymore. And so it was, so I'm sure she thought it wasn't working.
Well, and as not only that, you build up a tolerance, but as neurodivergent, you feel things completely differently as other individuals would. Your emotions probably feel stronger than a neurotypical individual. And I know for me, my pain tolerance is through the roof. I can handle so much pain, and I broke my collarbone in high school, and I was laughing hysterically. That was my response.
I used to laugh when I would hurt myself.
It's a typical not neurodivergent thing to do the opposite behavior of which you are meant to do.
Like, and they knew that if I was laughing, I was really hurt.
Oh yeah, I'd be like cry laughing. And like that's okay. Like I broke my growth plate in one of my arms. So one of my arms is like 2 inches shorter than the other one. But I broke my growth plate in one of my arms and then my shoulder blade or my collarbone, sorry. And the collarbone was the one that I remember the most. It was in the middle of the scrimmage playing rugby and it just snapped. And I was like, okay, laughing hysterically. Nothing in the world could have like made me to stop laughing. Got to the hospital and I was basically still laughing. So, yeah.
Yes, I fall under the empath.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
Because there was enough, and I kind of always thought that there was so much abuse and stuff going on that I'd had to learn kind of how to sense. I could walk into a room and get a feeling for the room, the kind of and I don't know how to describe it other than that you can kind of sense things.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm psychic or anything that kind of overlaps a little bit, but yeah, I had to because I didn't know what I was walking into when I'd get home.
Okay.
I didn't know what kind of mood, especially when I would live with my dad. I didn't know what kind of mood he was going to be in, whether he'd start swearing, he'd drop a butter knife and he'd start swearing up a storm and all the stuff.
Yeah.
So I didn't know. So of course I had to learn how to read that room.
Now, did he go to church too?
Nope. He's an atheist.
Oh.
Oh.
Yep.
Interesting.
Interesting.
So they used to call women that would come to church without their husband, like depending on the denomination, like Baptist widows or Pentecostal widows, and
Mhm.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So your mom
Okay.
knows then.
Yep. My
It's
parents got divorced
Oh, okay.
when I was 12, but we ended up in Turning Point when I was 11. So a shelter. I don't not I guess not everybody knows what Turning Point is, but it was a shelter and we were hidden, and my dad went on for a couple decades after how we, the courts, the police never told him where we were. Of course they didn't tell him where we were. It was abuse, kind of survival. We were separate intentionally where he couldn't find us.
Okay.
He did end up finding us because I remember him showing up and being all angry and all sorts of
Oh,
stuff. And he tried to bribe us to move in with him. So the first Christmas between when they were separated, we got a ton of gifts. And then as soon as my mom got custody, because my brother didn't want to switch schools, and I think at that point he would have been 14 or 15, and he didn't want to switch schools. So we stayed with my mom, which was the best option. But he blamed my brother, and he stopped seeing my brother for visitation, and things like the gifts, all of that stopped. So yeah. He was, there's a
Oh
reason.
my word. I'm sorry. Wow.
I can relate to a little bit what Ben's saying here too, except I didn't. He said he tested very high for empathic. That's and except I didn't learn it. I just started secluding myself because I didn't know how to deal with it.
Yep.
I can relate to that.
Yeah.
I really can.
Yep.
Yeah.
I really want to take that test myself. I'm curious. Am I empathic or was it the situation? You know what I mean?
Right.
Was it the situation that I was figuring out how to tiptoe, or am I empathic?
So a doctor will count this DSM-5 test as a diagnosis. Is that right?
Part of diagnosis. There's two parts to it. The first part is the test. The second part is the interview. The interview has to be done by a healthcare professional.
Okay.
Yep.
But the testing, my friend had done it herself. She's autistic, ADHD. She has both, like cosmic, and she got herself diagnosed in the States by doing that test and getting the interview.
Okay.
So it saved her a good chunk of money. I think Rebecca was saying it was about $3,800 for the testing.
$3,800. Yeah, I could actually go check, but yeah. And it wasn't with a licensed psychiatrist. So I have a psychiatrist I go to who does my medication. And this guy my therapist used to work at the same clinic where my psychiatrist was, and this guy works. She's not a huge fan of his. I love my therapist. She'll tell me, she's like, yeah, this guy does this, whatever. But yeah, it was $3,500 to $3,800 for that test. And it was like 3.5 hours. So I went in, there was this whole interview, and then there was a bunch of tests that were done. And then I didn't get my results for 2 weeks after.
Okay. Yeah.
And so, and I think it was 6 or 7 pages were, maybe it was more than that even, verse of information. And I didn't test off the charts for ADHD. So they're like, you're definitely neurodivergent, but we don't know if you're this.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like they still don't really know. It's probably a combo of multiple things, which is really surprising, but then means there's a cocktail of, if they're trying to find the right med, then it's like what cocktail works for you.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because you have different levels of different things, and if you're not going to be clear about what these things are, how do you know what medications to be giving to an individual, right?
Yep. My therapist also thinks a lot of the depression and anxiety stems from the trauma.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of trauma.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't usually tell my mom or my sister very much because I'm not trying to make them feel guilty, and I really don't know that my mom or my sister can handle it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of trauma. It's a regular it's in the present still.
Yeah.
And I wish that wasn't the case, but yeah, it's still there.
Yeah.
So the best way that I can think about it, like trauma and loss, I try and think about them in the same way. And I'm trying it. People say that loss gets easier and it goes away. Trauma gets easier and it goes away. In my opinion, it never goes away, but our lives just become bigger around it.
Yeah.
And once our life becomes bigger around it, we get to focus on it less.
Yeah.
Once our communications and our connections become bigger and we have more life to live, we're able to focus on it less.
Yeah.
That's the way that I look at it. I really hate when somebody says, "Oh, give it time. Oh, give it time." It's like time doesn't take it away.
It doesn't.
Exactly. Time doesn't take it away. So that's the best way for me to think about it.
Yeah.
For me to see that, okay, this next day, it's going to get a little bit bigger around that trauma. And it may not be big enough for me for that day, but it's going to get a little bit bigger around that trauma. So it gets a tiny bit easier. Yeah.
And there is that having the support and the community. And that's partially why I came to join all of you, is I'm getting something from that too, because I need the community, but I also, let's pass it on and make sure everybody else gets stuff out of it. But yeah, part of it is that. So I don't feel alone. If I'm having a really bad day, I know I can come here and talk about it.
Right on.
Exactly.
Right on.
Exactly.
Cool. I love that.
I'm so happy you feel that way.
Yeah, I am
Thank you.
too.
Thank you all, including everybody in the chat that isn't on camera.
Yeah.
Because I need that feeling of acceptance. I need that portion.
Yeah.
Yes.
More than I'm thinking. I'm realizing more than I thought I needed that I need someone or people to accept me for who I am. Because
Yeah.
this is who I am.
That's right.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd like to be better. I'd like this to not hurt the way it does.
Right.
And I do. I laugh through a lot of it because I don't want to cry.
Yeah.
I think we all kind of do that a bit. We find a way to laugh about it because we can't cry about it all the time. We can't.
Well, and I don't know, it just feels better to laugh about it sometimes.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Sorry. Like I can't feel the cry feelings all the time. I really can't.
Yeah, the cry feelings are exhausting.
Mm-hmm. They are. And at least if I can laugh it off, I'm a little bit tired by the end of the day if I had to do it 5 or 6 times, but it's not the same kind of tired with the puffy eyes and the headache and the neck pain and everything from a day's worth of crying.
And
so
I know if I'm sitting here in a ball crying, I'm not doing, I find myself kind of spiraling down. And so part of it is I try to prevent myself from getting too deep into it because I don't want to spiral down. That's when potentially I disassociate and all the other, and then it's really hard to get back out of that.
But
yeah.
And and Mish is saying here as well, holding them in hurts much worse. And I can completely agree with that as well. It's the last few years I was not expressing my emotions, not expressing who I was. And if I needed to cry, I didn't trust that I could do that where I was without being verbally or emotionally attacked. And that was more exhausting. Holding it in, not being able to feel it.
Whew. There's a lot, isn't there?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's why I'm so afraid of the disassociation right now, is because I think I was before. Now that I understand what disassociation was, I think I was before, just to hold it all in.
Yeah.
Now I'm finding reasons to laugh about it. And I just feel like it's a different form of disassociation than what I was dealing with before.
Yep.
So I'm a little concerned, but at the same time, if I can recognize it, I can do something about it, right?
Yes.
So at least if I can get the confirmation and I can talk to a professional about it, I feel like I'm going to be able to make it through it, because hell, I made it out of that relationship and I'm maybe not in the place I want to be right now, but I'll get there.
It's a journey and you're doing amazing and you're getting there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You are. Because when I moved into this, I don't know if I told you guys, and so feel free to stop me if I did. When I moved into this apartment, my ex-landlady went off on me, and I ended up in a car in I had some friends that came and cleaned because it wasn't clean enough. And I ended up in the car bawling for 2 hours. And I had to have one of them drive me home and, in essence, help me up to my apartment, my new apartment. And when I moved into this apartment, it's full of boxes. You can't my therapist had said one of the things is I needed to do is I needed to distract, and I needed there was a list of things, but also scents. So this is before I got DJ, but I would do kind of things like the sweet grapefruit because that would kind of make me uplift me a little bit, uplift my mood, and
Okay.
I was having problems sleeping. So
Yeah.
but yeah, there's just I lived in this. I don't know how I made it through work. Because I wasn't what I would consider very good at it. It was bad. It was really, really bad.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm happy that you are out of there, and that
Yeah.
as much as though the budgeting and things didn't come together the way that you were hoping, I'm happy that this is a safer place for you.
Much safer, much better.
Yeah.
Much
Yeah.
better. And health-wise, much better. So not even the emotional health, just physical health better. And I
That's
have
right.
to one of the things I have to do is, and this has got to be done in the next week because I'm off work, do the paperwork to take her to small claims court because she withheld my deposit. And my friends that came in, we cleaned it well enough that by law she shouldn't be able to withhold my deposit. I've never had it withheld before. I just had to have friends come in and clean it because I couldn't do it. I was running on empty on fumes. I don't even know how I made it through that week. But they did everything. So they did everything she asked, and it was spotless. And then she sent me a 7-page letter and tried to extort another $2,700 out of me.
Oh my word.
Yes, saying she spent 60, I think it was 67 or 68 hours cleaning a 1-bedroom apartment that's 820 square feet.
Not possible.
Oh no. Right. And
Not
then she said
possible.
she had to fumigate, and she had to fumigate the outside and the deck. And I'm like, the deck's not my responsibility.
Yeah.
But she had to fumigate, and I'm like, I didn't have bugs.
Well, if there was bugs, lady, it was because of your problem, not mine. I did my job. I took care of the place as a tenant, you know. This is your home, your responsibility at this point.
Yes, and
oh my goodness.
she bullied me, and I let her get away with it, and it was a slow build. So she didn't, and I think she's narcissist, and I think there's mental illness things in there too, mental instability. But she would smoke pot a couple of times a day, and I think that was just to kind of bring her down.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I don't know what all was going on, but I'm so glad I'm not there.
Hi, Kristen. Sorry. Yeah, no, I'm happy you're not there either. My goodness. My goodness. No, if there was, honestly, the first thing that came to mind was if there's a bug issue, it's clearly your problem. It is not mine.
She lived beneath me.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a bug issue. We got a really large spider in the day that I had friends come over and move me because that was less expensive than the professional movers.
Yes.
So I had friends do a whole bunch. And because the screen door was open and it's not blocked, it was not completely sealed, a really big spider got in.
Okay.
But it was
a spider.
It was outside the door. And then she tried to say there were moths in there and it was an infestation of spiders. And I'm like, no.
A spider does not an infestation make.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
She was going to turn my apartment into an Airbnb. And I think she's maybe struggling more financially than she would like to admit. And I'm sure she didn't. It was a 4-plex. I'm sure she didn't put the deposit away. So she probably didn't have it.
Probably.
So.
Yeah. Yeah. She's trying to just get out of having to put herself in the hole at this point.
Right.
If she's probably too far in the hole already too.
Potentially. Yeah. Because I looked recently and I didn't see her a B&B there, an Airbnb there.
Oh.
Yeah, even with fumigation, spiders still come around. You're right.
Yeah.
And I think so. She because of her threats that if I didn't pay her, she would take me to court for even more than that $2,700. I have to take her to court and do this, and in essence, get a cease and desist at the same time because I can't. I have pictures too. I took pictures of what it looked like in the apartment when I left.
That actually.
Yeah.
So I took pictures because we knew, and I had friends who gave me those Ring cameras. I had 2 cameras in there intentionally brought in right before I gave notice because I was selling my hutch, but in reality, it was because of her.
Yeah.
So I told her it was because I was going to have people. I was selling my hutch, and I had people in that I didn't know, but it was because of her. I wanted to know if she came in, and she's been known to do that.
Oh no.
To just
So
come in,
you,
and I wouldn't know. And there was cameras. So
Is
we
it
knew
illegal in your state?
it's illegal. Yes. It's
See?
illegal. And she still does it.
oh my God.
Yeah.
She just
Glad-
doesn't care.
I'm
No.
glad you.
And so I realize I have to, as much as I'm very conflict avoidant. I have to take her to court because if I don't, this over the next year and a half to 2 years is what, year and 8 months, there's this risk that she could still take me to court. And I've got witnesses that cleaned for me and did all of this stuff for me and are willing to go to court if needed.
Yeah.
And I've got pictures. I've got to do it. I just, honestly, I don't want to, but I need to.
Yeah.
I need
Exactly.
to not roll over and let somebody walk on me yet again.
Yeah. And even as Mitch is saying here, stand up and advocate for those who are not as strong as you.
Yes.
100%. I think we're all trying to find that right now. I know Mish is doing that on her end. You know, hearing Cosmic today saying, I think this is where I need to be working. I think I need to do this.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's all of our mission. We just put our heads together and we touch more lives than we can imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. And I do kind of the same what Awakened said. What is Awakened? Is Misha?
yes.
Your name? Okay.
Yes.
I wasn't sure. But the other reason is I don't know that this will change things because the woman's narcissist and there's mental illness.
Yeah.
But a part of me knows she's done this to other people that she knew wouldn't fight
I
it.
was going to say, you cannot be the only one.
I'm not. Now,
Yeah.
I don't know that she's done it to everybody. And I would bet money she didn't do it to the man that lived in one of the apartments.
Yeah.
Because she's got a little different dynamic and she knew he had money. He just was getting a divorce and so lived there a year. But
oh my God.
the therapist said she thought that my ex-landlady thought I would just pay it. That she would scare me and I would just pay it.
Yeah, she thought you'd roll over.
Yeah. And I sent a letter, certified letter, that gave her 5 days to send me a money order or a cashier's check with the deposit and interest. And if she didn't, I was going to take this to court, small claims court. I said, and I put the statutes in there as well. This is the statute from here, and this is the website. And yeah, she didn't do anything. I'm not surprised. That's a couple months now because I've kind of procrastinated on this, but
yeah,
she probably put it in a bank account, but it's the same bank account she pays the mortgage for the fourplex out of.
So yeah, she's probably not keeping any of her income separate from her personal bank account, like paying herself after the fact.
I think she does have separate because I think she said that earlier on. But I think I know she wanted me out sooner rather than later.
Yes.
Because she wanted, as soon as I got out, she was going to start the setup for it, turning it into a Airbnb. She wanted my storage space in the basement. So I hadn't cleaned or swept. And I'm like, well, the stuff is out of there. I haven't cleaned it. And she moved because she went and bought a whole bunch of stuff to furnish my one bedroom. I think she had 2 separate accounts. I just think she's been paying the mortgage. And yep. And I think she's losing $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
Huh.
Easily.
Yeah. And that's what, because it was $1,000 a month is what I was paying. It's more expensive here, but this is a much better place. And I'm sure they have an escrow account in this because it's a big apartment complex. I'm
Oh
sure
yeah,
they
they
have an escrow
definitely have an
account.
escrow account.
I'm sure didn't.
Yeah. My goodness.
Yeah, I think Awaken said, I think, or what my therapist said, is she thinks that Lynn never thought I'd leave.
Yeah.
That she never thought I'd leave. I was there 11 years.
Okay.
I was this tenant who had been there longer than anybody else.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And I pet sat her dog. I pet sat for people down the street. Yeah. There was one time the security alarm in her apartment was going off because the dog got out of the cage, and I had a key to her apartment. I had the code
Okay.
to the alarm. So she obviously trusted me enough for that, and I never
Yeah.
did anything. Actually, her apartment was broken into, and I was the only one home, and they could hear me because I was walking the floor and it creaked, and they ran. And she only lost a laptop and a tablet instead of the gold coins she had and the cash she had. So I
Yeah.
saved her thousands of dollars, and then her big screen TV. She didn't lose anything else. But
what Misha says, if she wanted you out and truly that was her goal, she wouldn't have bullied you while getting you to move. She had other interests at play. Likely. Good chance. Yeah.
Yep. And she thought that she could make more money with an Airbnb in one of the apartments.
Of course, everybody feels like they can make more money with an Airbnb. That's how Airbnb sells it. But really, how many times a year is that thing getting rented out? And what town are you in?
Yeah.
Is it a commercial town? Is it an industrial town? Or is it touristy? Come on now.
Yeah.
And it was touristy. It's the Twin Cities, so Minneapolis, St. Paul
Yeah.
area the capital area of the city. So it's big. There's lots of people, but there's other Airbnbs, and I lived fairly close to the fairgrounds, like not right there, but close enough. So what? She's going to get fairground people that stay for the 10 or I think it's 10 or 11 days of the state fair.
Exactly. And if you're not a top host on Airbnb, people don't trust renting from you.
Right.
So why are they going to put their money into this app and have it, there's been so many horror stories. Money's just taken because they weren't a super host. Right?
Well, and it's not as insulated. It's not as well insulated as this apartment is. So when she smoked pot, it was coming into the apartment through the underneath the door. So you can smell it inside the building, and it would come in through, because there's a window AC units that was permanently there. It would come in through the window AC unit. So I knew when she was smoking, and I wouldn't normally care, except for I happen to have lung issues now, permanent lung damage. It matters.
Yes, it does.
When I moved, within a week of moving here, I cut my inhalers from double what most people would normally take. And I was doing what my doctor said, back down to what was normal.
Okay.
Wow.
It was that bad.
Wow.
I was taking my inhalers every 4 hours, rescue inhaler and regular steroid inhaler every 4 hours.
Oh my God.
And the doctors knew. So I was doing everything, but and then I move, and within a week I'm breathing better.
It's clear that there was an issue. Yeah, and they take that too to the courts, because I don't know, at least here every single province now, you cannot smoke inside of your apartment. You must go outside.
But I know she did.
Well, of course. You have the health proof. You have the doctor's proof of being like, look, I needed to feed my patient this much more medication. Yeah. And as soon as she moves out of that building, it's not happening.
Right. Yeah. It didn't fix all the stuff. My asthma's still not as controlled as it needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
But to have it be night and day different.
That's wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, Misha, but contact later so we can find out a contact time and help you out there, because I want to make sure that we're helping.
Yes.
Yeah. Happy to do it.
Oh, the law did not make it through. Mandrew's correcting me. I thought it had made it through. I haven't rented in a little while.
inside your
I'm sure I'll figure this out
I
soon.
thought it was illegal inside if the
Public
apartment
spaces.
building is no smoking. Because our apartments were no smoking. She just happens to own the building and live beneath me.
But that doesn't mean you get to smoke in the building that's not non-smoking.
I think in Minnesota, it's illegal to smoke inside the building.
Okay.
Okay. Gotcha.
So,
oh my goodness. Still
yeah.
no. I'd be like, no, my health issues. Thank you. Bye.
Yes. And that's the excuse I used when I moved, because I was trying not to make waves, was, I'm going to get away from the pollution of the highway, because I lived fairly close to a highway and
Yeah.
But yes,
Well,
I need to do this. I need to submit the small claims court.
yes.
If
Yeah.
you
Well-
remember this, I need to have this done in the next week.
Okay.
I want this done before the end of this calendar year.
Okay.
How much work is going to go into it, do you think?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Okay.
But I'm off all week.
Okay.
Perfect.
So I kind of look at it as after Christmas, I'm not worrying about it pre-Christmas, but after Christmas, I have to take a day and do this.
Yeah. Yeah. We should be able to find, I would think, a breakdown online fairly easily as to how you need it to be. And I can't remember what you call it when you represent yourself in court.
Well,
But
it's small claims, so you can't have a lawyer.
I don't think you have lawyers in small claims.
oh, not in small claims.
can't.
Okay.
Yeah, I checked with a
Okay.
couple lawyers, and they're like, yeah, you do it yourself. But I need to get all the pictures together, and I do have those. And I have what part of the country? I live in Minnesota. Anik asked. So yeah, and so she's not supposed to smoke in common areas. She's not supposed to smoke in the building. Because
Okay.
it's no smoking for all of us. And there's
Gotcha.
gummies. That's the part I didn't. I'm like, there's gummies. They're now legal in Minnesota.
Right on.
Yeah.
Delta 8s were legal before. Delta 9s are now legal.
And to be honest, for me, gummies, they got me high, but the wrong type of high that I wanted. So smoking was always the way that I went. It's just a
Gotcha.
completely different high. And she probably just was like, no, I'm going to do this because this is the one I want,
And
Mhm.
I didn't know that, so that's good to know.
Yes, it's a huge difference. At least in me, it's a huge difference. And I know quite a few people who can eat an excessive amount of gummies and feel nothing.
Yes,
But they
and
can
I
smoke a
didn't know
tiny
that too.
bit and feel like they're flying high.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
it's
and
interesting.
there's some really good shops here too now. They were there before and did like Delta 8s
Yes.
before, but you could ask, like, because I used to take getting COVID, I used to take a part of like a quarter of a gummy to help shut my brain down at night.
Mm-hmm.
Because I wasn't trying to get high, just trying to shut my brain down. And it worked. And I asked, I'm like, what can I take? Because this is what I'm using it for. Apparently, people with PTSD and trauma were a huge portion of their market. I did not realize that number.
Yeah.
But there's no side effects.
Yeah, you don't wake up hungover. You're not coughing your lungs out. You're able to just eat it and get some effects from it, right? And especially if you're not a smoker, like you're not a pot smoker, you have no tolerance to the THC that you're taking in.
Right.
Whereas for me, I had a huge tolerance to the THC I was taking in. So I'd have to have like a handful of gummies to feel like...
Yep, that makes sense. Yep.
Right? So you know what? I think it's great for individuals who have not smoked excessive amounts of marijuana. But if you have, your tolerance goes down once you don't use something, right? But if you have like recently smoked a lot, it might not be a good thing.
Well, and she smokes multiple times a day because I could smell it. So she's got a tolerance. I've wondered because I've heard people vape too, and I'm not sure. Vaping does not do the same thing to me that actually smoking it does. I mean, it still will bother me a little bit, but it's not nearly as bad. So is vaping have the same level of THC in there? I don't know.
It'll have the same level of THC. Well, it depends on what the bud is, the product that you're putting into it, the flower that you're putting into it. But vaping takes away the carcinogens that you get from smoking. Because at that point, you're lighting and you're inhaling a little bit of fire, and that that smoke that's coming from it, right?
Right.
With vaping, it's just heating the bud and you're taking the vapor THC from it. There's no chemical or anything with it. So for me, vaping got me way higher. Way higher.
Okay.
But my problem was I wasn't smoking cigarettes at the time and I was vaping nicotine. And for me, I need that burn to feel like I've actually gotten something. I need that burn. So I would constantly go right back to smoking, straight back to smoking it. So that at least I felt like I was getting sunburn.
Oh, okay. Because I know I've got friends that have chronic pain. She's on opiates.
Oh
and
my.
She does marijuana. She does smoke it. She vapes it for the pain. And she has to do it a lot because she's got she's had to have reconstructive surgery where it's like her bones are crumbling.
Oh, so osteoporosis type stuff?
And it's worse than that. But she's got something where her joints are like the tendons and ligaments are too loose. And she had to have complete reconstruction surgery on her foot, like completely redo it. And
oh my goodness.
I don't know how she handles the pain. She's in constant pain.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. And she doesn't. She can't work. So
wow.
I mean, I understand. She just can't. And there's standing on her legs and just the pain that's in her bones and her body. Her body cannot support it.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
Oh my goodness.
It's
wow.
There's a name for it. I just can't remember what the name is.
I can't imagine. I'm a superhero fan and like comic book fan, so I immediately go to the movie Glass, where it's oh my God, why can't I think of the guy? Samuel L. Jackson. He's in the wheelchair and he's like, as a child, he would fall and break his bones so very, very easily. So I go immediately to this movie Glass. So I go to superheroes.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh.
This has been a marathon meeting and it's been great to be with like-minded people. However, I need to sleep. It's almost 12:30.
Oh God, please. I hope you sleep well, Mischief.
Yes.
Love you, hug, support.
And I typed this in, but I just was apologizing for eating, but I was starting to get that shaky, blood sugary. Yeah.
I was just about to say, I'm starting to get that hunger going and I need a cigarette.
I was going to say, I need to eat dinner. It's almost 6:30 here.
Okay. So for me, it's almost 7:30 and I love how we're all in different time zones and it's all crazy all over the place.
It is so interesting. I work in energy, so it's overseen by the federal government.
Okay.
THC is legal in Arizona, but the federal government still outlaws it. So I can't because you're in federal. Okay.
On the random drug test.
Yeah.
I have a friend that doesn't take anything because he's the new job. He's susceptible or he may have random drug tests.
Yeah. Yeah. Truckers here will typically not use at all, even though it is legal all across Canada. There's 2 provinces that can fine you because they don't agree with the legalization, which would be Quebec and New Brunswick. But they can fine you if you grow and then you dry your substance and you smoke it yourself. They want you to buy it from the government. There's many different factors on where they can fine you for it. But all in all, it's legal across Canada. But if you're a truck driver and you need to go into the States, they can test you on the other side.
Yeah.
So you would end up getting in trouble by your Canadian company for being out of American law rules.
Yep. Well, and here you could, even before they made it legal in Minnesota, you could get a prescription. But it was like $400 in paperwork to get it. And then you've got to pay for a special doctor to prescribe you the marijuana to get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
My goodness.
And it's
too messed up.
Yes.
Anik was wanting to ask if the friend's situation was lupus.
I don't think it's lupus, but I don't know for sure. Yeah.
Anik. I mean, did I say Anik or did I say Anik?
Anik.
Good. Okay. Yeah.
Squirrel ran. It's okay.
My brain's needing some protein.
Yes. And yes.
Yes. So how is everybody feeling?
okay?
Yeah. Just wanting to check in. I think we both were saying it at the same time. Want to check in and see how everybody's feeling. See,
Everybody feel like we've had a meeting. I really do.
I didn't want to say the words for you, Carol. I was just like, hold on, that's a Carol line. Shut up, Deja.
It's fine. This is as much you guys' meeting as it is mine.
Does anybody need more of a meeting?
Yeah. And even if you are not wanting to talk about it publicly over the chat here, then please feel free to reach me one-on-one. I did make sure that Carol has my email and Facebook page link now. I have a Canadian number, so I did not pass that on just because I will get charged when an American calls me. So I apologize. But you can definitely Facebook call me. That's how I usually take care of stuff that way.
Cool.
So I put my email address up one more time. And if anybody wants to swap numbers with anybody else and they want to do that through me, I'm or if you need to talk to me or anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the email.
I was going to say, Carol, it's okay to give Stasia my contact information.
Okay.
Just text me if you do a text or something, just let me know it's you because I don't answer calls that I don't know the number.
That's fine.
I get too much junk still.
I'll probably email you with my Facebook link because, again, that's easier right now for phone calls and text messages. And once I get a new cell phone and a new cell phone plan, then I'm going to put the all North America. But right now, that's not something I can change. So I'm just waiting until I can do that.
Don't worry about it. And you don't want to pay too much. I get it. I don't want you to do that because that's.
It gets ridiculous when you don't have a plan. You can hike up $100 easily in a month.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
That reminds me of the old days when we had landlines.
10 cents a minute. Better call between 6 and 7.
Yep. After 9.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yep. And I think there we go. I'm going to take off though, guys. 1 pee, 2 cigarette, 3 food.
Great to see you.
Nice to see you too. Thank you, everybody in the chat. And Carol or Rebecca, or I'm going to get your information, Rebecca, but Carol will figure out messaging Misha as well, okay?
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Good night.
Good night. Eat food though first, Carol.
Yeah.
Please take care of you.
Yeah, going out in that barn on an empty stomach is never good.
No. Nope. Yeah, it looks like most people seem to be good. Nobody's said anything.
Right on.
How are you doing, Carol?
Well, I started fading there. I don't know if you guys could tell.
A little bit, yeah.
This is what I'm sitting on in here.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah. So now I'm kind of starting to wiggle because my butt's hurting and
Yep.
So I need to get this. If this is going to be the studio for the rest of the winter, I need to get it situated that much better, where I'm not, because I was so comfortable in that other room until I got too cold.
Yeah.
Steve just walked in. Hey, are you practicing, Steve? No. He's not practicing. He's in a band.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah. And so, yay! I get my husband tonight. On a Friday night. How about that?
Okay.
Excellent.
You're going somewhere?
Storage and put the stuff in.
Oh, okay.
Pig done. Water's full.
Okay.
Try to let the puppies in, but not all of them come in. So when I opened up, let them out, they all went back out. So all 6 dogs back out.
But all 6 of them are they inside the barn?
Sugar's in the barn too.
Okay.
No, none of them are in the barn.
Okay.
I needed your help, but now I got your help. You know what the deal is.
Okay. Where are they?
They're in our pasture.
Okay. Oops. So it's looking like the animals are needing a little bit more attention than I do. So
okay.
Yeah.
But still have a little snack so you're okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Kind of put your life mask on first. And then asked what kind of music do they play?
They play I would call it prog. especially like their stuff their earlier stuff. They started. Tim started introducing Tim's my brother-in-law. Started introducing new songs that had a little bit more of a pop rock sensibility, but the early stuff was definitely, I call it prog.
Our original name was Cinnamon Jimmy.
Did you hear that?
Cinnamon something.
When they first started the band, it was called Cinnamon Jimmy.
And
the
CK
bass player's
asked,
name was Jimmy, and
you have the power to tell them about our YouTube. I mean, you could actually make it known to them if you wanted to.
I actually have you guys on my page.
Okay.
Anyway, so their name now is the Sherms, and they have a YouTube channel. If you go to my community page, I think it is either community or about, it'll have a link to their YouTube channel.
Text right there, can you?
And CK said that they have 2 funny pics for Steve. Can I send them?
Yes. Do you want to send them to my email?
Okay.
Pics. Okay. Yeah. If you want to send them to my email, for my Steve. Are they for my Steve? Carol. Love you too, sweetie. Are you not coming back?
Yes, I'm coming back. I do not want to push the envelope.
I know it.
Can't do.
So
okay. I'm going to do.
Okay.
Water's done, dogs.
I'll go get them.
If you hang with full dog time, they do.
Yeah, I needed to be out there when it was still light and have them follow me in. Yeah, I should have been, but I got distracted because Edie was out, and she was on the porch. She was fine, but I knew what she was there for. She wanted her little special food. Anyway. So anyway,
yes, Steve or Facebook. CK just responded.
Okay, either one. Yeah, either one. That's right. You're on my Facebook. Either one is fine. And it's because it's for my Steve, right?
Yes, you're Steve. Yep. I'm assuming that's what the yes is.
This is good. Don't send pictures to her wife's husband without her permission.
Yep.
That is good. So yeah, I'm gonna get I bet I'm gonna be sore tomorrow.
Please take care of you.
Yeah. I didn't think about this could be a 3-hour situation when I started sitting on this little stool. But anyhow, I'll figure it out.
Much love to everyone in the chat and to you, and hugs and support. And yeah, let us know if you need anything.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, you guys. And peace, y'all. I got to see about those animals.